Hello, welcome back to PokéBoys. We're here, Season 7, Leg 1. Hot off the heels of an interstitial episode. I think maybe the first time we've ever started a season directly after an interstitial episode. But we're here. We're going to be covering Pokemon Unbound. Kumino is here with me, like always. And we replaced Dad with a much better Pokemon player, Venom. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow,
I'm just kidding.
Dad,
I'm just kidding.
Wow. Get him.
Yeah. I just miss him, and my only form of coping is lashing out, I guess.
I made it through the whole first section without cheating, though, so I don't have surf or anything yet.
Oh yeah,
Right. Don't have the mighty God Dad, and
yeah. You're just like, wait, you guys couldn't surf yet? What the? Yeah, I still don't understand how that happened. But yes, Venom's with us. One of our faithful and very active community members from our Discord. He also was the winner of the Season 4 Pokemon Infinity tournament we had. So that is why he's joining us. He chose to be a guest host for a season. So he's here. How you doing tonight, Venom?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah. And feeling okay after the grinding over the weekend?
Much better tonight than last night. Last night was a little stressful. We'll get into that.
Nice. Kumino, you doing all right?
Yeah, still locked up, but I'm here.
Yeah. Feeling any better?
Not really. I actually went to the doctor and they was like, it did not get any better. What have you been doing?
Oh no. No. That's like, not supposed to happen.
Right. I was like, I still have a house to maintain, and you left me 2 fingers free. So, I've been trying to use them. They're like, no, you're not supposed to use your hand. Like, at most, maybe 1 pound is in that hand. I'm like, oh, well, I still got stuff to do. So,
well, hopefully it gets better soon, man. Yeah. Shout out Patreon members. Check out Showboy or patreon.com/Showboys podcast. We have a PokéBoys tier. I think it's $3 a month. You can sign up, get early access to episodes, all that fun stuff. Yeah, Pokemon Unbound. Venom, you chose the game for this. Was there any particular reason what drew you to Unbound? If there was a reason.
Yeah, so I don't actually follow fan games all that terrible much. So I had no idea what I would choose for an actual game. It was going to be something where I had to decide afterwards. But Winter Jam had mentioned this was going to be the game he was going to choose. And I looked into it a little bit just to see. I didn't want to look up any of the story or anything, so I'm coming in blind that way. But I saw you got 3 unique starter choices. And it followed the typical 8 gym pattern and everything. So it seemed like, and I really, really liked the idea of being able to choose difficulty levels and be able to kind of scale the game to what you wanted it to be. So I figured it would be a good shot for a PokéBoys season.
Nice. Kumino, had you heard of Unbound before we got into it for this?
It's kind of difficult to not hear of or have heard of Pokemon Unbound unless you're just completely doing your best to miss anything going on within the Pokemon community online and stuff of that nature. So yeah, I've heard of it, and I was always interested in it, but when I heard about it at first, it was during that period of time when I still only want to enjoy the story and chill out and play the game. So I thought it was going to be one of those real difficult games, but it's not, being that you're able to choose your difficulty. So I chose something that was more comfortable for me, and I got a little mix of story and difficulty. So yeah,
nice. Venom's like, you can make it not painfully hard. No, just kidding. Yeah, that's awesome. I actually had not heard of this one before, so I was like, all right, whatever, let's go. I'm always down. Usually, our community members are out there finding good games and playing good games. So I was excited to try this one out, and I've been having fun so far. We, in typical Pokeboy fashion, we'll be breaking the season down in 4 parts, right? No, 5 parts. Each leg will be 2 gym badges, and then the final episode, the 5th episode, is the Elite Four and Champion Battle and our review of the game. So this episode here in Leg 1, we cover the first 2 badges, and right off the bat, firing this game up, we are treated, or maybe depending on your preference in these games, a rather long cutscene explaining the story. I wonder what Jared was feeling during this, because you know how he is. He just wants to get in. He just wants to get in and start playing.
He was tortured. He felt like he was being held hostage at that point.
He couldn't hit A fast enough. But yeah, we get a very long cutscene, which was actually kind of cool in a way. They I don't want to say they like animated cutscenes, but there was like stuff happening, which is always better than just a giant wall of text. At least there was something moving in the background to like take your mind off it. But I'll go ahead and read through it just so we all have the same foundation before we get into the playthrough here. But the Borrius region was engulfed by a great war with a foreign land. It was a brutal war, one which lasted many years. During that time, the enemy managed to seize the upper hand. On the brink of defeat, the Borean king summoned a dark force to help him turn the tides of the battle. The foreign army's advantage was lost almost instantly. As soon as it entered the battlefield, the dark force used its power to create portals and transport the invading army back home. With the foreign army gone, the war seemed at an end for Borrius. However, their king, overcome by his lust for power, sent the Borean army through the portals as well. The war continued to rage in the foreign land for several years. Many more men and Pokemon were conscripted to fight and inevitably met their end on the battlefield. One such Pokemon having been a dear friend of the enemy king. Overcome with grief, the king built a device to restore its life, granting himself immortality in the process. But this traumatic event left him scarred and filled with anger. Unable to forgive the world that had hurt his precious Pokemon, he turned his machine into a giant weapon, the ultimate weapon. What a name. The king became a bringer of destruction that ended the war. With the war over, what little remained of the Borean army returned home. The king's Pokemon left him, and the battlefield became silent. Yet peace was still to come. Enraged over the fruitless war fought, survivors of the war wished ample compensation from the Borean king. When he had nothing to offer them, they began to manipulate the dark force to attack the Borean kingdom in an attempted coup. In an effort to stop the madness, the Borean king gathered the legendary Pokemon Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Using the power of the 3 birds, a prison was created for the dark force, sealing its power. It became a shadow of its former self, stripped of its power. It was taken by the king and supervised by his progeny until one fateful day. And then we get into the game 16 years later. And we're just kind of chilling. No. We have this mysterious character standing there, and he tosses Hoopa's Pokeball into the river in an attempt to set it free and asks it to protect his son. Very mysterious with absolutely no context. We get another screen 15 years later. So now we're 31 years past the events of the massive wall of text. The Pokeball, it washes up on an island where a poor kid is just like being sad about not being able to catch Pokemon.
It really is sad.
Hoopa pops out, and it turns out this guy might be the villain because he's hyped about the eternal destruction and the endless bloom to return once again. So, usually someone gets excited about those things, kind of a red flag.
A bit.
And then we get another jump forward to present day. Hoopa appears in our room and kidnaps us, and like uses its portals and takes us to a laboratory.
Which I gotta say, like, realistically, I would have been me and Hooper would have had to fight. Whenever I seen it again, we were going to fight. Because you mean to tell me I wake up to being teleported? Like, nah, like this ain't fun.
Yeah.
Actual
Laboratory.
reasoning behind Kumino's hand getting injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Karate chop the Hoopa. Yeah, the lab is looking rather villainous, if I must say. Yeah, they knock us out and throw us down into the basement, and here we kind of try to gather our senses, and trying to make our way out, we bump into another prisoner, it seems like, named Denim. Which is hilarious because if Dad and Venom were on a season, they would be my rival would be Denim, because I just combine your guys' names. I guess it still kind of works, Dawn, the Dawn
Right,
and Venom,
right,
Denim.
right,
Yeah.
But up to this point, have I missed anything?
No, haven't missed anything. But I forgot that we actually named our rival. I'm trying to.
Oh no!
In the beginning, I took a bunch of notes.
No, he's like pre-named Denim.
Okay.
But it just so happens to like almost perfectly fit my
Is he
rival
pre-named?
naming scheme. It was for me.
I got to name mine.
What?
Yeah, I got to name mine too. It's just that I forgot that we did it because, like, it in all honesty, like, of course, my rival down here, I named him a variation of him. I named him Benny.
Benny. Dude, did I just like black out and subconsciously name him Denim? I think I might have done that.
After that long opening, it's
That's
understandable how you
Yeah, you're just like, get me into the game, please.
That's so true. What did you name yours, Venom?
My rival is named K Dadon.
Look at you guys. Am I gonna have to like separate you guys every episode? Yeah, so in the process of
did you mention he's looking for his parents?
No, I did not.
Your rival is apparently there looking for his parents and got captured and thrown in jail for some reason. He doesn't really say why he's looking for his parents.
Yeah, Venom, I gotta say, man, you spunky. You're very spunky in this one.
Right. Yes. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's very, very reminiscent of Blue from back in the day. Just kind of a turd. But yeah, in the process of trying to escape with Denim, there are a couple, or like there's some Pokemon sounds coming from across the room, and we go investigate. Turns out, wow, there's 3 Pokeballs here. What could these be? Maybe we should grab one and use it to fight our way out. And of course, these are the starting Pokemon. So before we get into this, the reward that was chosen for winning the Season 6 final battle, Kumino got to choose which of the 3 starters he wanted to use first. And then, of course, our guest Venom got second choice, and then I got whatever was left over. So that's how the starters were chosen. Also, this would be a good time if you decided to pick a theme for your naming during the season here. You can explain that. If not, that's totally fine. But
no particular scheme, just straight randomness of whatever comes to my mind.
So the starting Pokemon, Larvitar, Beldum, and
Gibble.
That's it. Kumino, who did you choose with the first pick?
I got the homie Leroy Jenkins, Gibble.
Yeah, saw that one coming. And then Venom. Wait, you named him Leroy Jenkins. Venom. Who did you pick?
I wanted Garchomp, but I have never used Garchomp or the Beldum line in a game before. The only one I've used before is Tyranitar. So nice. I went with the Beldum.
Nice.
And
so
instantly handicapped myself for the end of season battle.
You did to me what Venom did to you, or what Kumino did to you, because Metagross is like my second favorite Pokemon. And I was like, oh my gosh, I might be able to start with Beldum. No. I was left with Larvitar, which is totally fine. I haven't used Tyranitar ever. So we picked what did you name your Beldum, by the way?
My Beldum is named Sentinel for the Halo constructs from Ghost of Onyx.
I cool figured name. It was either that or it was either X-Men.
Yeah, no, the little constructor sentinels from Ghost of Onyx that have the little red glowing eye and shoot laser beams at you.
You know, Metagross kind of looks like Juggernaut's helmet a little bit.
Yeah, the helmet and strap that comes across.
Yeah. Nice. So Larvitar, inspired by you, Kumino, from last season. I was gonna name it Kai Judy if it was a female, but it was a male, so I named it Kai James.
Nice. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But for everybody that haven't played, if you save right before you get the starter, you can actually reset. Not just for shiny, but for nature and EVs and all of that stuff there.
Did you reset for shiny even though Garchomp is like the most pointless shiny in the entire game?
I did not want a shiny Garchomp because it's horrible.
I spent 5 hours trying to get a shiny Beldum to make Mike feel bad, and I did not get one.
Metagross is the best.
Right,
I did not get one. It was horrible.
But I did reset a bunch to get the best version of the Gibble that I could get.
Nice.
I don't have his stats right here, but I have the stats at the end of leg 1 team.
Yeah. Very nice. So, yeah. So I didn't really, I didn't pick a theme for my naming convention this season. It's just all totally random. But I'm just going to get this out of the way now. I did come up with a catching and team building strategy that I'm going to stick with. And that is every route, I'm going to catch every available Pokemon. Then look and take whichever Pokemon has the best average stats, right? And this has resulted actually in my team basically being a bunch of Pokemon I've never used before, which is very random. The only thing I didn't do is there are day and night spawns. So I just so happened to play through the entire leg during the daytime and no nighttime plays. So I didn't catch any of the nighttime Pokemon, but every route I made sure I looked up and caught every Pokemon I could catch. And then I since they don't give number stats for the EVs or the IVs or whatever, I gave point values to S all the way to whatever the lowest one is, D- or whatever. And every catch I would go through and I would add them all up and then find the average and then put that in my sheet and then do that for every Pokemon I caught. So it was a little bit time consuming, but I think this is going to be a fun team building exercise. Are either of you doing any sort of team building strategy, since we're not like nuzlocking, or we didn't do a type draft. We didn't set any restrictions. Or are you just like using your favorites?
So essentially, in terms of team building, I'm trying to stay to something that I haven't used before, or something that I haven't used in a long time. But being that my starter is something that I've used quite a bit, that kind of went out the window. And yeah, so and for team building, the only thing that I was doing was, at first I was catching a bunch of Pokemon to get the Pokemon with the best stats and bring them onto the team. But I quickly realized that it costs a lot of money. And also, that was around the time that this happened. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about that no more.
Yeah.
Like, by the time I made it through Ice Cave, I had ditched that that method.
Right. Venom, how about you?
Yeah, I'm a little. Well, we didn't get into some of the choices we got to make at the beginning of the game, but I am doing my absolute best to use only Pokemon I have not used before, with the side note of whatever I need to get through the gym battles, because they are murdering me.
And why are they murdering you again? What did you do to yourself?
So there are there are puzzles in the game, and you can choose, I think it's either 2 or 3 different puzzle difficulty levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose the most challenging puzzle difficulty, because it's a puzzle. It shouldn't be that difficult. I should be able to make it through those. And then there are 4 difficulty levels for the actual gameplay. And I believe it's like casual, normal, expert, and insane.
Yeah.
And insane, from what I've read, is supposed to be basically the hardest Pokemon experience you've ever had in your life. So I'm like, well, I'll do expert.
Like, that sounds great. Sign me up.
No, that was definitely not going to happen. So I went with the expert option, and like, how difficult can it really be? And we will get into how difficult can it really be.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Nice. Well, that's good. Good to know. We're all sounds like so far every other season where we're doing our best to use Pokemon we've never used before.
I very quickly went from the Mike approach of catching everything to the Kumino approach of, I'm only going to bother catching something if I want to use it. So I got about halfway through the leg before it's just running through entire routes without catching anything.
Yeah.
Now, I did still catch Pokemon though, because
you just weren't hunting for the stats.
Well, I was still kind of stat hunting, but not really. Like, I was stat scanner hunting, if that makes sense. Because a bit of a spoiler here, you can get a stat scanner from one of the aides, one of Professor aides, and that helps you see what their growth rate is and the moves that they will be learning and all kind of nifty stuff.
Wait, so where do you get that?
I have no idea what you're talking about either.
Wow!
Oh, dang!
Now, in this game, there's missions. Even though they don't classify this one as a mission, it's still a mission, because you have to register 50 Pokemon in the Dex. So that's why I still had to catch Pokemon.
Oh,
I have not caught enough Pokemon in my Dex to get that.
I knew that
was there, but I don't have it yet.
Okay, so I just got to go back and talk. Okay, that's good to know. One good thing about this game, even though we were just like crash dummy, like slammed into the brick wall of like front-loaded story exposition and stuff, after you get through that and you get your Pokemon, you make it out of the hideout, there's not much narratively going on. There's a few things here and there, but for the most part, it's just like, running errands for the professor.
It reminds me a lot of Infinity in the first leg. You're just kind of doing
exactly what I thought.
At least we got a little bit of a blurb in this one where Infinity just kind of dropped you in a world and said go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but very sparse on stuff happening in the first leg.
Yeah, but what's cool, Kumino, you mentioned a few minutes ago. There's a quest or mission system here, which is pretty neat. If you have run into these NPCs in your playthrough, you probably know what I'm talking about, and you probably have spoken to them and gotten missions. But if you see NPCs with the little speech bubble with the 3 dots over their head, that means they're a quest giver essentially. And some of the missions range from like picking up an antidote or something to one of the ones closer to the second gym is like walk a bajillion steps or something.
It's
150,000 steps.
Yeah, 150,000 steps.
Yeah. But yeah, they give cool rewards and stuff. I looked up what the reward for that was because that's like a lot of steps, and they give you like, I forget what.
I think it's
stat boosting ice item.
Yeah,
they give you like a whole bunch of one of those.
Right. The 2 that I noted were a little when you get to Dresco, which we'll get to here in a little bit. The practice saving lives by saving 100 times. I thought that one was funny. Apparently,
What did you say? Every time you shut the game off, it creates a multiverse or something.
Yeah, you actually kill everyone in a multiverse, and then when you turn your game back on, it creates a new multiverse. Apparently, I already had 42 saves in by that point, so I was doing decent already.
Right, yeah, because I think I got like 23 more saves left before I get it.
Right.
Dang. You guys, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I played exclusively on the Steam Deck, and it's very much like a Nintendo Switch. Like, I just put it to sleep, and I'm notoriously bad about not saving games because I'll just like put it to sleep. I don't need to save it. It's just in hibernation. But hopefully this game, that mission will fix me. I doubt it, but maybe. I don't know. There's a chance.
I mean, it should be ingrained in you since we started back in the days where we had to change our battery. So
that's true, dude. That was the worst. But yeah, so Kumino, why don't you walk us through what happens after we pick our starter and we beat that first little grunt with Venom?
Okay. In which actually I see I did take a bit of the stats. The Gibble had a jolly nature and its rough skin ability, so it has its hidden ability.
Oh, nice.
But
that's a good.
Later on, you'll find out it has 5 S rank stats.
Oh, jeez. See, I after the 5+ hours of trying to get a shiny, I just picked one and went with it.
But did you even look at their stuff?
I was not looking at their stats. I was only hunting for a shiny. So I have 1 S stat, Jolly Nature, and the ability Clear Body.
Okay, that ain't too bad. Is it the stat that needs to be S-tier, or
it is defense? So one of the higher stats to start with. It's not bad, and considering a lot of the stuff we'll be facing is going to be physical attackers, probably not too bad.
Right. Yeah. So that's really good.
Yeah. Who did your guys' rivals choose?
My rival ended up having, let's see, ran to the guard. Scooby.
I think he chose Beldum.
Hold on. Let's see. Oh, it took the Larvitar because the Beldum for me was sad and walked away. It hurt my heart. I was like, no.
I know watching the because my rival actually picked Gibble, so Kumino in my game actually has his normal starter, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, the Larvitar kind of dropping its head and walking away on this. It's like, no, come back. I will take you as well.
Right. I'm like, please come back. You can be with me. But no, it just floated away. And I was, oh.
That makes me even more sad.
But yeah, after we beat the grunt, because that is it's a double battle, right? Because I don't have the PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's a double battle. We beat the grunt down, and then Vinny is like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and look for my parents. You go ahead and find a way out of here. And a cutscene happened once we reached the exit. So people back in the lab, they're showing off the results of some project that they've been working on, and they having a Houndoom attack these cloaked figures. So at first, like if you're not really paying attention, you would think, oh, maybe they're working on a cloak to be able to take damage from actual Pokemon or something of that nature. But no, they're actually working on artificial beings to essentially be their grunts and help them catch Pokemon. But an unknown man, assuming that he's the boss, asks specimens also immune to electricity. And the sign says no. A masked person from before that was they the one that knocked us out? I believe it was the masked person that knocked us out. And the blind person that we fought back at the lab, they come in. The masked person is named Marlon. He tells the boss that they have moved things up as the target has moved into the vicinity earlier than expected. So I'm assuming the target, you know who we run into or who we see them catching. Marlon informed the boss that Vinny and I have escaped the warehouse. And he also lets him know that I showed up in the lab some kind of way. And someone named Faye will want to relocate as soon as possible. So don't know who that Faye person is. But the boss left anticipating the goal being accomplished. And then it cuts back to us being outside of the little frozen lake that's right outside of town. So it's crazy that the evil villain's base is literally right there in town.
Yeah.
And
nobody like that sometime though.
Right, like you may tell me you guys don't notice none of these people wearing all black, skating on the lake over here, going over there. No, none of you. Okay, but yeah, as soon as we get back to town, Vinny is happy to see me. He lets me know what his relationship with the professor is, in which the professor is actually watching over him because Vinny and his sister, they're from Hoenn. But his parents are gone missing. Well, their parents are gone missing, and so the professor is watching over them. And the professor has been having Vinny run tasks, but Vinny is only focused on getting his parents back. So he wants to have a battle because Professor Log is this professor's name, especially in studying stats. Right,
I love that his name is Log. Like
right, like just the bare minimum of a plant, just Log. So me and Vinny have a battle, so he can watch and see what our Pokemon potential is. Essentially, I'm sorry, Venom. But I destroy Larvitar with one metal claw, and that ends the battle. But the professor still says that both of our Pokemon have loads of potential. And then Vinny runs off, and Professor Law goes, "Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to use you to run all my errands for now." Because our father was such a great person and did errands for everybody whenever he seen somebody that needed something. So I guess that was kind of a way to try to sway us into doing it. But why do I care about my father helping everybody? I'm here to just battle Pokemon. But like I said, talking to the professor's aide in the lab, you find out about the stat scanner. You got to register 50 Pokemon in the Pokédex before you can do it. You also get to see that the Porygons that are about in the world, they actually are a storage box, or where they help you access your storage box. So that's nifty because you have some located all throughout the world. So you can get, access your storage box while you're out in the field.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until we made it through the icicle cave. And I just have this like terrible habit of like almost being through something but not realizing it, and like being like, I gotta go heal, and like I'll backtrack, I'll go heal up, and then I'll get back to where I was and walk like 5 more steps and be out of the dungeon or whatever. It always happens. And I went to mess around with the Pokemon that I caught in the cave there. Walked all the way back to the Poke Center, like did my stuff, and then walked back, and then get out of the cave, and there's Porygon, and I like went and talked to it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Just wasted like 20 minutes walking for this stupid crap."
This is why it's important to explore and talk to everything and everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
but what's up, Venom?
Well, yeah, I am very quickly learning that my choices were perhaps a little bad in this. So I too had the mic problem of not knowing, hey, there's a Chansey on the next floor, or there's a person standing outside the next door of the cave to heal you. But I have found a topic that I would like to approach with you guys.
Okay.
Most annoying addition to a Pokemon game ever. Can't retreat. Have you guys run into that at all with wild Pokemon?
Yeah, that is. I just hate that crap.
I mean, especially you can't escape.
Yes.
Yeah, can't escape.
Now there's a difference to me. I don't think there's an issue if it's because of a move, right? Like what, mean look or something, or like one of those gaze look or whatever. That's fine. But like, just because I can't escape,
just randomly because
whoever thought of that stupid feature should be kicked in the shins repeatedly.
Yes, and there are some Pokemon where you will literally die from trying to escape 6 times, and it'll ask if you want to use your next Pokemon, and you're like, no, I'm trying to run away, and it'll be like
too bad, sucker.
It'll be like too bad, and you have to choose another Pokemon.
Yeah, dude, is
that
was
because their way of making the game more aggressive towards you with the difficulty setting?
Yeah,
that's your own fault.
I'm wondering if the difficulty made it worse, because it is horrible trying to do the EV training.
Now, isn't this may just be like a theory that I came up with myself, but is it maybe based on speed stats? Like, so if your Pokemon you have out is slower than the Pokemon you're trying to run away from, it won't let you escape?
Yeah, that's the way that it normally
that is the way that it works.
Is that the way it works? Gotcha. So that would explain why none of my team can escape, because none of my team has speed stats.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good to know that that wasn't just like a weird like conspiracy theory I made up in my head of why I couldn't escape.
And if we want to go into why none of my team has speed stats, that first battle where Kumino took care of me in a single hit is the opposite experience that I get to run into, because of course my first battle is, 1, I'm on expert, so I'm expecting this to be a challenge. 2, I am a Beldum going into a Gibble. So I go in, my Beldum starts off knowing Tackle, Flash, and Metal Bash, which is Metal Bash is Tackle but Steel. And yeah, so I go in to that first battle. I do manage to beat it on the very first try, but I go in, I use Flash twice on the Gibble, and then run through 4 Metal Bashes. And the reason I had to do the flashes is because Gibble also has rough skin. So every time I attack it,
It's actually my Gibble.
I take damage back.
Jeez.
So I hit it with the 2 flashes. Somehow those 2 flashes actually make Gibble miss 4 of his 6 attacks. Gibble is also faster than my Beldum, and the 4 metal bashes kill it and leave me with like 2 HP to win the first battle.
Jeez, that's intense. That is intense. Yeah, I smoked him, but I'm also playing on like normal.
Right.
Yeah. So, is there any other like big story beats that we need to hit before we leave Dresco and head down to Route 1?
Yeah, I was just about to get into that. So the professor's task is to send us to Bellingtown to pick up his package, in which that's the first route, Route 1. When you go that way, it's blocked off due to some snowballs.
Mm-hmm.
Guess somebody was trying to build a snowman, not quite sure. And the guy, he shows us, the way to go around, in which that's a grass route. In which we get a few encounters here.
Yes, we do. Can I just say,
did you guys pick any team members from this grass right here?
I did, because I only had one Pokemon on, so of course naturally the highest stat of this encounter table would make my team. But before we get into that, I really appreciate having like snow like right off the bat. You never see that in Pokemon games.
Right.
All your snowy, icy, like ice Pokemon stuff is usually reserved for like late game. So it's cool to just be plopped down in like this little snowy village.
It's some very unique encounters starting.
Yeah, we have Snowrunt, Vanillite, Minior, Delibird, and then is there? I think
it's a couple of. It's one more, but it's a swarm Pokemon.
Oh,
right,
okay.
right.
So I caught all of them except for Delibird. I didn't run into one, and I spent a decent amount of time like farming encounters here. Now with my catching and team building, I'm only catching like one. I'm not gonna like catch multiple and see which ones have the best stats. So I just catch one of every spawn, whichever one is the highest stats wins. But my Snowrunt was female, named it Elsa. Vanillite, I named Van Winkle after Vanilla Ice, naturally. And then Minior, I named J-Rock after Jared because he's found some affinity with Minior. So he gets named after Jared. And Minior actually was the highest stat of the 3 catches, so he joined the team.
What about you?
So I instantly take this opportunity to train up my Beldum a little bit. I do encounter, I think, 3 or 4 Minior and fail numerous times. I reset over and over and over trying to catch these stupid things, getting it into the red health bar, wasting all my Pokeballs, reset, try it again. I could not catch one of those stupid things. So I ended up getting a female Snowrunt, which I named Freya.
Nice.
For Snow White and the Huntsman, the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
A Vanillite, which I named Pearl, and a Delibird, which I named RN Jill.
Okay.
Because instead of it uses present, of course, which is RNG, whether it heals or does damage. And normally you have RN Jesus, so I named it RN Jill because it was a girl.
Nice.
Very nice.
So yeah, I caught all 4 of them. I caught a Vanillite, and I named it Bean after Vanilla Bean ice cream.
Great flavor.
Nice.
I caught a couple of Miniors. I'm not sure how all of you had such problems catching the Miniors, but I caught a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I found one that was blue with 3 S-grade stats, and that's the one that I kept. I named it Wish.
Nice, fitting.
The Snow Runt, I named it Needle Blue, based off of my kid's mother nickname that I kind of gave her. And the Delibird, I did not name because it's a Delibird and it was never going to make my team ever.
No,
so
Delibird is the dumbest.
Right.
Yeah, Snowrunt and Vanillite go on my team instantly.
Yes.
Delibird goes in the box the first chance I get. I do not train it at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think my Minior was blue too.
Nice.
There's something else I was thinking about, but now it escaped me. Oh well, I'm sure it'll pop up. Yeah, so we get through Route 1. At the end of Route 1, there is a cave, the Icicle Cave, that of course we have to go through because the short path to the town is blocked, like Gumino said. And in here there are quite a few.
Actually, we can't go in the cave yet. An old man that is a friend of Professor Law has it blocked off. So we immediately have to go into Bellingtown.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's where we go in and, the typical got to pick up the package for the professor because they don't know how to have stuff shipped to their house. I don't understand. But unlike Generation 1, before we get to the counter, somebody picks it up like in our place and steals the package.
This is true.
Like, what the heck? We go on a hot pursuit, Need for Speed Pokemon style. In
which, if you didn't pay attention, that was the same guy that was our guard when we was in jail. Because he seen us, he was like, yeah, don't mind me.
Yeah. So
did you guys find the side quest here for the Alolan Sandslash?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Which made me so excited because that's a cool line, I think. No pun intended.
What's that?
Oh no, his microphone must be muted. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just realized that I never switched my microphone. So flashback to Infinity. Of course, I was playing the weekend that we moved into our new apartment and did not realize the entire time we were doing the tournament that my webcam has a microphone built into it.
Oh, yeah.
Until I was watching, and then Mike's like, I'm going to mute everyone. And it's like, how is he muting me? I don't have a microphone. So I could have actually been talking that entire time and just didn't know it because I had no idea where my actual microphone was because we had literally just moved in a few hours before.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it had defaulted to my webcam mic. So now I'm actually on my other mic if I sound different.
It sounds great. Yeah, that happens to me from time to time, and I get so furious at myself for not checking. So I'm like, I have this microphone, and this microphone sounds good, and I sound like I'm talking through a telephone.
Right, it'd be a couple of times we'll be recording, and then like we realize halfway through, wow, I'm on the wrong
mic. Yeah, but did you get the Alolan Sandslash mission?
I did pick up the mission. Yep. I am very, very click on everything everywhere. And we'll get into some of the routes and everything. I'll see go through what items people find, but if there's a rock on the ground, I go and click on it. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's not important to the story, but after we talked to the person at the counter and they explained, we just gave the package to the guy that just went out the door. Maybe you can catch up with him. Well, as soon as we leave out of the Pokemon Center and head up a bit, we see a scene where that blonde guy that was guarding us, he's talking to Marlon, and they gonna head out and go through Frozen Heights to go accomplish whatever mission that they're trying to accomplish. We follow behind them because the path is unblocked now. I guess the man decided to move his snowman somewhere else. I'm not quite sure. But Marlon cuts a tree that is part of what's blocking the path north of the Frozen Heights. That's the name of the town that we started in. And at the top, some grunts are summoning Articuno. Yeah, it's crazy. Marlon has the hooded guys that they call Shadow Warriors to trap Articuno. So they both run up on Articuno and just kind of hold Articuno down. I'm pretty sure Articuno's like, what the hell is going on here?
When did Boston Dynamics like break into Pokemon? Building these crazy robots to do their bidding.
Right. But we find out that what they stole from the professor's package was Master Balls. And Marlon uses a Master Ball to capture Articuno right down the spot. We try to stop them, but Marlon has a grunt to battle us and buy them some time to escape, to go down the mountain and skate across the river and go into their little hidey hole. In which the grunt battle, it was very quick. I used a rollout from Wish because the grunt had a snow run themselves.
No.
And the rollout took it out. No real problem. But the grunt drops the package. We pick it up and we take it back to the professor. And that's when the professor lets us know that the Master Balls have been stolen. And we tell them everything that's going on. And this is when Professor Log tells us, okay, we need to go to Dresco Town and talk to his friend. They will be able to confirm or deny whether his suspicions are true in what these guys are up to. In which we don't I don't remember seeing a name for them, so I just started calling them Team Shadow. Is that what they actually called?
Nope, you're muted.
Oh, no. Yep, mute again.
Yep, they call themselves Shadows. See, I was trying to mute myself earlier and not understanding why I wasn't muting, and that's where I realized my mic was wrong, and now I can actually mute myself. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, they call themselves Shadows. I don't think they say Team Shadows or anything, but yes.
Okay, well, yeah. But yeah, so we take out towards the Icicle Cave, and once in there is a scene that happens where you see the Alolan Sandslash digging a hole through the wall. This opens up a secret area. If you talk to the guy that's standing in there against the wall, you pick up the quest. I think it's called Gone Blind or I Am Blind or something of that nature, where he's looking for that secret area. So once you go through and you go down the steps and keep straight on back, you will find a giant stone tablet. The guy, he will come running in and he will say, this is what I've been looking for, and your quest will be updated and completed and stuff of that nature. Well, not completed, because then it updates to you having to go around and do what he's been doing or what he's supposed to be doing, because he gives you his translator and all this stuff there and says, hey, go find out how to open these things. Essentially, it's supposed to be like 9 of them or something of that nature.
Yeah,
I think he says he's not a very good trainer or something like that. He's more of a scientist or something. And did you guys catch what the language was?
Yeah, it was Braille.
Yeah, the ancient language of Braille.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so now you can take this opportunity to catch some Pokemon. I know I did, or you can just straight up run after the Sandslash, in which it'll lead you to a little hidden grotto. Yeah. And in that grotto, a scene will start up where you'll see the Alolan Sandslash feeding some Alolan Sandshrew. Once they spot you, the Alolan Sandslash comes to attack, and a battle commences between you guys. Did you guys have any trouble with the Alolan Sandslash?
No. I did not note it down, so no. I noted all the battles that were difficult.
Okay, what about you, Mike?
Nope, it was easy peasy.
I did note, however, the return of a status that is not in most games that I'm aware of.
What's that?
Frostbite.
Oh, that's in here?
I don't know if it's in your guys' game, but it is in my game.
I didn't notice.
It's in this one. It's in this one.
Yeah. So you take I think so. Frostbite deals damage each turn, correct? And then does it also lower your special attack? Is that?
I think it lowers your special defense, or is that sandstorm?
It's like burn, but
it's like a combination of burn and it's like burn but for special attack. I thought because burn lowers your attack.
Yeah.
I think frostbite lowers your special attack.
Interesting. That's cool. I didn't notice. Yeah. I think this battle is much easier for me. Because Alolan Sandslash is Ice Steel, and I have 2 rock types, Larvitar and Minior. But before I got to and did the Sandslash quest, I made my catches in the Icicle Cave, and I caught. I'll just go through my catches and then my team member. But Spiel named Kevin after Kevin Smith, who created Tusk, and of course, Seal evolves into Whaleren, and there's the connection. Roggenrola named Chad, Giga Chad, Gigalith. Zubat named Musk after X. Drillbur named Drillbert. Makuhita named E Honda from Street Fighter.
Oh,
which is maybe my favorite nickname so far of this league. I did catch a Sandshrew, a Alolan Sandshrew named it Stella, a Smoochum named Nikki, Bergmite named Heisenberg after Walter Wright, because he's like a blue rock and Breaking Bad. And Swinub named Fluffy. The Makuhita was the highest stat. So E Honda is on the team, and his Force Palm just wrecked that Alolan Sandshrew. And then
what about you, Venom?
I did throw the Alolan Sandshrew on my team just because I want to use one. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody did because it was nice to see.
Yeah.
Yep. So I did not catch everything that I ran into. I only caught things that I might be interested in using because I'd never used them before, with the exception of there is a Zubat named Envy, as a shout out to my shiny Zubat from Infinity. This one is not shiny, but Envy has returned and does end up on the team for a little while here at the beginning until I get a full team worked out. I do get a Roggenrola. I name it Dumbledore. Because
nice,
yeah, you got Bulldor. So
that's a good one.
Dumbledore, the Roggenrola, a Drillbur named Rufus for the naked mole rat in Kim Possible.
Nice.
Bergmite named Sea Dumplin. And a Swinub that I named Manny, and the Alolan Sandshrew, which was a girl that I named Bridget with 3 R's.
Oh my gosh. It's so cold.
Yeah.
I did not catch everything at this point because I did not have enough balls. But I did get a rock and roller. Well, I caught a couple of rock and rollers, and the one that I kept, I named it Crag. I caught a Makuhita. I caught multiple, and I named it Honda, not E Honda,
yes,
but Honda for the same reason. And then I did get Alolan Sandshrew, and I named it. Hold on, let me see. What did I name it? Where did it go?
So funny. We both named it Honda.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I named it Iggy after Iggy Azalea. Don't ask me why I can't think of anything else.
Dude. We'll get to it later, but I also named one Iggy.
I caught a Spiel that I named Boot after my kid's uncle because Walrein has the big beard, and he has a big beard, and so I was like, okay, he bald with a big beard. There we go. Name him Boot. And I caught a Zubat that I named Austin Aries.
Nice. Shout out Uncle Boot.
Did you guys keep track of items at all on Pokemon when you were catching them?
No, I did not.
I didn't really.
Yeah, there's
nothing.
Some Pokemon have like a 5% chance to have an item, which I am striking out on. I've only had one that had an item, but I got an Everstone from Roggenrola,
nice.
which
nice.
is potentially useful later on if I can find more of them. So.
Nice.
I just got a couple of berries. I know I got berries because it asks you before you put them in the box.
Yeah, I got some berries, and then one of the Pokemon I got from somewhere had a Quick Claw, but I don't know if it was one that we trade for or not.
I would have. That would have almost had to be, because I think there's only one trade in this section, isn't there? That would have almost had to been something you
There
caught.
is a trade, and then there's an NPC that will give you a Pokemon. And then there's an NPC that will give you a hatched egg.
Yes.
So there's like 3 Pokemon you can get. Actually 4. Because then there's the one cabin in the woods that we'll talk about later. And I got the hiccups. Great time for hiccups, guys.
Right. But yeah, so to move on with that, essentially we go through Icicle Cave at that point. And then we bump into our rival again, in which that's when we have another rival battle because they have been to Dresco City, town, city, whichever one it is. And they want to see if we are up to sniff to be able to take on the gym leader there. Did you guys have any trouble in your rival battle?
Not even close.
I actually wrote down everything. I'm trying to look and see here. I did. It was a long battle.
Saw like the Nom flashback, gloss over of your eyes.
The gloss over of me reading the like 10 pages of.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah. So it had I think he only had 2 Pokemon. He had a Swinub level 12 and Gibble at level 13. And I had, I had a full team between level 13 and 16 at this point, but I did still manage to lose a couple Pokemon on the way to winning the battle.
Wow.
Yeah. The Gibble hurts. The Gibble really hurts.
Yes.
Yeah. The Gibble knocks out. Yeah. The Gibble knocks out. Let's see. So I had Dumbledore, Sentinel, Envy, and Bridget were all for sure on my team. Those were the 4 I used in the battle. But the Gibble ended up knocking out Dumbledore and and Sentinel before I was able to take it out.
Nice. So what's the name of the town that the package was in? Bellintown? Is that it?
Yeah, Bellintown.
Okay. So there's an NPC down in like the southeast corner of the town. When you talk to him, they talk about it's like, oh, about Pokemon eggs. This one's close to hatching or whatever. And I talked to him and I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's what happens with eggs. They hatch sometimes. But then I talked to him again and he's like, oh, the egg hatched. Do you want this? And I was like, sure. And it was a Skorupi.
Interesting. I have not gone back to talk to him yet.
Yeah, I don't know, like, obviously at this point, it'll be hatched for you, but I don't know, like, how long after you talk to him the first time and the second time you have to wait for it to hatch. But apparently that it can be 3 possible Pokemon, Skorupi, I think.
Glandow and Stunky.
There you go.
Is it based on your starter or is it just random?
I do not know because I tried to reset it and he just kept trying to give me a Glameow. He still had the Glameow.
Oh, he didn't take it.
Didn't even take it. Do not like
it's choice between the Scorpion and the cat. Definitely So I'll have to go back and see. I'll make a note and go back and see what he's got.
I took it. I named it Tex, and Skorupi's on the squad.
Nice. Treat it well for me.
I will. Yeah, we get through. We battled Venom, or our rival. I smoked him. Kumino smoked him. Venom beat him.
Yeah. I actually Envy died as well because apparently Metal Claw from the Gibble one shots Envy.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It was a
Gibble has Metal Claw, Fire Fang. It learns Bulldoze immediately, and then gets like one other move that the Gibble is just
awesome. and I'm stuck with a Beldum that knows 2 forms of tackle, flash, and eventually learns confusion.
2 forms of tackle and tackle harder.
Yeah, tackle and steel tackle.
So here, once we get out of Icicle Cave, is when I learned that I didn't have to backtrack all the way through the cave to mess with my storage. Because the Porygon's there. There's also, I believe, someone who will heal your team, and then her buddy will teleport you past the route to Dresco Town.
Did you guys?
It is Reuniclus.
Yes.
Are you guys playing sped up?
Actually, no. Well,
no.
Actually, yes, but not like super sped up.
I am on 3x, and I gotta say, I love the auto turnaround feature when talking to people.
Auto turnaround?
Yep. So when you are when you go into a Pokemon Center or you are talking to an NPC, when the text is done, it automatically turns your character around. So you cannot hit A too many times and restart.
No way.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I got that going in one of the other playthroughs I got on one of the other games that I've been playing.
Because that is a big problem.
That is a huge problem playing ROM games.
This is what I was going to say like 20 minutes ago when we were talking about Route 1. Or whenever you're talking about not being able to flee.
Right.
Did you guys know that there's an auto run button?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I use that a lot, and that is
so clutch.
Because it's another quest that tell you to read all of the signs in Driscoll.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And luckily, for some odd reason, I have an affinity of reading signs anyway, so I'd already read the sign that told me that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Mega clutch. It's like the exact opposite of what you were complaining about. This may be like the best feature that somebody has added to a game.
Except I still can't escape. I can do it faster, but I can still not escape.
You can get frustrated quicker.
Yes, very, very quick. So you're mashing. I'm playing on a controller, so I'm mashing. It's right.
R.
I set it up as right trigger for myself, so I'm just mashing my right trigger, and then have to hit A couple times because I have to take damage. Then I have to mash the trigger again. But,
nice. So you could choose to skip Route 2, the trainer battles and all that, and be teleported closer to the city, or you can go through, which I recommend. Obviously, get some experience, catch some Pokemon, but also one of the NPCs will give you a Pokemon if you beat all of the trainers on Route 2. So
that's right.
I went through. Here are my catches. Scraggy, I named him Champ. Picky Peck, I named Hobongo, which is a combination of mango habanero, because my flying Pokemon are named after wing sauces. Riolu, that I named Kumino, because Electrike, right? Yeah, Electrike named Ellie, that my 3-year-old named. I caught an Inkay named Squidward, a Mincino named Mickey, Azurill named Blueberry, Patrat named Bandit, and a Stuffle named Smokey. There are 2 night encounters, Hoot Hoot and Rattata. I didn't catch, obviously. Inkay ended up being the highest stat from this route, which was very exciting because it's the one I was really hoping would have won and would make the team, because I've never used a Malamar before. I tried to use this line when I played through Ultra Sun or Moon, but I emulated it, and it's one of those stupid evolutions where you have to do a backflip while you're playing.
In the emulator, you have to turn the screen 180 so it'll be upside down, and then it'll evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
I think they've fixed that for this game, if I read correctly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Inkay is not on my team, but I did look it up in case I wanted to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up with I'm trying to keep coverage separate and everything too. So I've already got Psychic with my Beldum line, and I end up with the Scraggy for Dark here from the line. So
if you beat all the trainers here, the NPC will give you a Litleo, which was actually very good. I think it had like 3 S's or something. So he made the team too, and I named him Simba.
I apparently do not pay very close attention because I have not gone back to get that either. So okay,
yeah, I got the Litleo, but it was a girl, and I named it Simba's mom, Sarabi.
Dude, why are we the same?
Listen, us Mikes, man, we great minds.
Yeah, and I actually become you, when the gang gets renamed in my honor. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
Yeah, so anything of note happened for you guys on Route 2 outside of, the catches and team additions?
Okay, so I used the dude and his Reuliclus to teleport me to town because I needed balls. So I went to town, went to the Pokemart, bought balls, headed back, beat up all the trainers. And while beating up the trainers, I realized these trainers, they're using Pokemon that's on this route. One of the trainers had a Riolu. So you knew what my goal was. I know I'm not supposed to be using Pokemon, but I had to because that is my best friend, my ace. And after 2 hours, I finally found a Riolu. And no, this wasn't me stat hunting the Riolu.
Wow.
Just one Riolu.
Dang. Was it good though?
I always love him.
Yeah. I managed to find Riolu like 3rd encounter.
Wow, so y'all so lucky.
The only one I saw the entire time on the route, and it is terrible. And luckily, I found a Scraggy to take over the fighting part, but I wanted to run Riolu because I love Riolu as well, but used him before, so I went with the Scraggy. And I guess I can go through my catches for the route.
Do it.
So I got a Electrike, which I named Blue. He's green,
right?
What's that?
He's green, right?
The Electrike is, but Manectric is not. So it will eventually be blue.
Could have named it teal,
Yeah, but neither of them are really teal. So.
But it's a combination of the both.
Yeah. Electric has static, which does come in handy later on. Azurill, which I named Easter because it looks like the Easter bunny somehow got combined with an Easter egg. So I named it Easter. Hoot Hoot, which I named Tootsie.
Nice.
Inkay, which was a female, so I named it Ursula.
That's a good one.
Stuffle, which I named Neapolitan. Riolu, which I named Aura. Scraggy, which I named Bags because I couldn't think of anything, and he's got really baggy looking pants all the time, I guess. A Picky Peck, which I named Sammy for Toucan Sam.
Nice.
And a hidden encounter, I found a Binacle, which I named Sevens.
Yep, nice. That's the swarm Pokemon.
It's if you click on the rocks on the beach, you have a chance of encountering a Binacle.
Nice. So. That's cool.
Let's see. Yeah, I got all of them. Picky Peck, I named Winnie after Woody the Woodpecker's girlfriend. I got a Stuffle that I named Papa for Papa Bear. Machino that I named Fluffy. Inkay that I named Karen because, you know, I always want to see a manager. Very toxic, evil women. Pat Rat I named because I don't like it. Electrite Zip because it looked fast, even though not really all that. Azumarill that I named Peekaboo.
Nice.
Not Azumarill, Azurill that I named Peekaboo. And Scraggy that I named Turk after the Hot Boys. Hoot Hoot I named Hoops. And the Rattata I named Rat.
Nice. Dang, why do I keep forgetting stuff? Oh, I used a Manectric on one of the many Pokemon games I've played. I actually like that Pokemon. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I used Electrike is usually, if I go back and play any of the early generations, I love Electrike.
Nice.
So I did not intend to use it, but I did need to use it a little bit later on.
Why do y'all like it when it's a special attacker, but it only gets physical moves?
Right. Yeah, I mean it is super it is super annoying. I don't like it now that I understand the moves and everything like that, but I did like it back when it was just because you never really cared in normal Pokemon games. You don't care. You're gonna beat the game no matter what.
Right.
So it never really mattered to me. But after playing one of the previous seasons, I found a love for Boltund, which is just a way better Manectric.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if I ever do a electric dog again, it'll be a Boltund, not a Manectric.
Right. Nice. What? Dang, what game was it? I used to Blitzel once. And Zeb.
It had to be Generation 5 because Blitzel did not come back until
fan.
now.
I think it was a fan game or something.
Oh,
that I was playing.
Wait! Wasn't that Bushido?
Might have been.
It might
I really like.
Yeah, I think I heard you. Yeah.
Wait, it might have been the one where we're playing the Hoenn game, but it was no story. You just go about. It might have been that one.
Row.
Oh yeah, maybe
in Row. I think that might have been where I used my Boltund too.
Yeah, I don't remember, but whichever game I used it in, I liked it. Substricker was pretty cool.
Right, as you guys can tell, we play a lot of games.
Yeah, maybe too many. But upon arriving at Dresco Town, my team was Larvitar, named Kai James, Skorupi, named Tex, Makuhita, named E Honda, Alolan Sandshrew, named Stella, Inkay, named Squidward, and Litleo, named Simba. And we get to town here. There's a battle house. Did you guys go through the battle house?
Yes, that is where I did a lot of leveling, and using the Soothe Bell helped me boost Paul's friendship up, and he became Lucario very fast.
Oh, nice.
I actually have not done the battle tower yet at all.
So it's a repeatable. Yeah. There's I think 4 family members in the house that you can battle.
It's a trainer house. I'm not sure if they're family members or just random people, but I think it's like 4 or 5 of them.
Right. The problem I have is unavoidable trainer battles for me screw up my EV training, which is very important. So I avoid any battles that I don't need to take necessarily. I try and do all of the route battles and just kind of let it go. But I also have, I assume you guys are running through with EXP share on. I am not.
Yes.
So I am trying to take the route battles and then swap Pokemon as I don't know what their first Pokemon is going to be, but I'm trying to swap in to get the right EVs with XP training off or EXP share off. So I'm not screwing up my EVs as much as possible. So I have not done
that trainer house. It's a good place to do that at. Trust me.
Is it?
Just look up what their teams are, and you'll be able to know what you need to do with who.
Gotcha. Do you guys and we'll make it to this in the gym. Have you guys run into trainers swapping when your Pokemon faint?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yes. But that's because I'm not as difficult as you. Like
you're at the second level or whatever it is. Not the casual mode, but the second level.
I think it's the third one. Whichever one.
The third one's the one that I'm on.
Oh, well then why are we having such difficult?
Yeah,
well, you know what? I do have a Gibble that is named Leroy Jenkins for a reason.
Yes. Gibble gets way better moves than Beldum and Matang do. So
yes.
my starter is very, very, very handicapped until much later. I am facing a lot of Pokemon that have like 70 to 90 power moves, and all of my moves are I think the highest move that Sentinel has right now is Confusion at a base power of 40. And most of my other Pokemon that I'm using are in the like 50 power range. So it is.
And then if they're not using super strong moves, they're using multi-hit moves, and the multi-hit moves are landing 4 to 5 times all the time.
Yes. I actually made a note of that. I believe because of the difficulty, like I've run into several Pokemon that have magnitude and stuff like that. I have not experienced,
and it's always 9.
I have not experienced a magnitude below 7. And the multi-hit move, the multi-hit moves are freaking crazy. The first battle that I had versus my rival, you have Metal Claw. You got the attack boost, both Metal Claws that you hit. So it is absolutely where they scale the percentages and stuff like that. So not only are you on a higher difficulty, but it's also scaling the moves and everything themselves. It's been quite an experience so far.
Sheesh, you guys are nuts.
I said I'm a bit of a masochist now, so
That's true. That's true. But yeah, there's the battle house in here. There's a trade you can make. You can trade in a Alolan Sandshrew for a Ducklet. I kind of did things out of order here. I went and battled the gym, but there is a route north of Dresco, Route 3, and then further past Route 3, there is the Flower Paradise, which is just a big field of different colored flowers with lots of possible catches. Did you guys? I did the gym and then went up to Route 3 and Flower Paradise like a doofus. But
yeah, that's what I did too.
You did that too?
Yeah. So you want to cover the gym first?
I did not do the gym first.
Okay, let's go through Route 3 and the Flower Paradise, and then we'll do the gym. So, what was your goal on Route 3 and Flower Paradise, Venom?
So the first thing I did was go back and get another Alolan Sandshrew to get the Ducklet. And which
I traded Stella. Stella's on the squad, so I had to go catch another one.
So I got the Ducklet. And I think the trainer that you trade it with tells you, hey, you should use this in the gym. It's really good for the gym, to give you a little bit of foreshadowing. To which I'm like, don't tell me what to do, and immediately stuck Ducklet in the PC and walked away.
And he learned his lesson.
I did learn my lesson, but I still did not use the Ducklet. I did use the safety glasses that you got earlier in the game for the gym.
Yes,
but we'll get to that. So I let's see, and I got the Soothe Bell for Riolu, but decided to go with Scraggy instead. But before I went to the gym, I went to Route 3 because I really wanted to get a Dupitor, because I want to use Araquanid because I've never used it before.
Nice.
So I went to Route 3. I only caught 2 Pokemon while I was up there. I caught a Dupitor, which I named Sandy, because it's a girl and it looks like it's wearing it's like a reverse Sandy Cheeks. because
Yeah.
it's wearing a head of water rather than a head of air. And then I got a Cherubi named Cheryl.
Nice.
And I did some training up there. I did not go to Flower Paradise until after the gym, though. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Did you catch anything up there though? Since we're
he said he caught the Jupiter and the Cherubi.
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean in the Flower Paradise.
In Flower Paradise, the only thing I caught was Combee for the honey quest.
Nice.
Because I found out after beating like 15 Combee that were not dropping honey, I decided to try and catch one and found out that if you catch them, they give you honey. So I caught 3 Combee and kept the best statted one. None of them were female. So I named it Hun Bun and threw it in the PC.
A blonde Mike moment from back when after we beat Infinity and they updated so you could do like the monotype runs and stuff. I did a bug monotype run, obviously. And I caught a Combee and I was like, sweet, I'm gonna use Vespiquen. I've never done that before. And this stupid thing would not evolve. And I'm like, what the heck level does Combee evolve? And I didn't even realize that it was a gender evolution, even though it makes total sense. And yeah, my Combee was not a female. And I was like, well, dang it, I'm not gonna. It was like level 30 or 40 or something. I kept that thing on my team for a very long time.
That's why I made sure the Snorunt that I grabbed in Route 1 was a female.
To get that frost
just in case.
Yeah. Kumino, what were your catches in Route 3 and Flower Paradise, if any?
Okay. Since I went after the gym, my very first encounter, in which you guys already know, I got a shiny shell. I was just walking. Like I'm on the route. I'm like, I just want to see what's over here. I want to catch some Pokemon. I want to beat up the trainers and see what I see. And shiny Shellos just bloop.
Nice.
I'm like, okay. So I caught it, named it Sam, like I always do my Shellos and Gastrodons. And I took Quackers out, in which if you don't know, Quackers is the one that you trade the Sand Shrew for.
Mm-hmm.
So I took Quackers out and put Sam in, went back to Route 3 and then trained it up. Caught Poliwag, named it PK Girl. After my son Poliwag, I be saying that he be having crazy wild parties, and the girls at his party, I call them PK party girls. So I got a Wingo named it Pecco. Shout out to Mr. Barney. Got a Slowpoke named it Pinky. Cherubi that I named Pit for Cherry Pit. Jupiter that I named Aqua. I called a Bidoof that I named Allie. A Buizel that I named I Am Weasel. And a Surskit that I named Bazel.
Nice. Route 3. Poliwag that I named Marine after the Marine Mike Richmond, a bare knuckle boxer. I watch bare knuckle boxing. He's a great fighter, by the way. Bidoof named Dingus, as always. Wingle named Ranch. I actually asked our dear friend Pixel Nick from Showboys what I should name Wingle, and he's like, that looks like a ranch. So we got Ranch there. Slowpoke I named Gillis after Shane Gillis. Shellos named Crohn's after Crohn's disease.
Jeez.
Gastrodon, like, it just made sense in my mind. Okay. A Cherubi.
That's messed up. I just have to say that's very messed up.
No one said it was messed up that I named Slowpoke after Shane Gillis. I thought that was pretty funny too. Cherubi named Washington after George Washington, and of course his cherry tree legend. Jupiter named Manta after Black Manta from Aquaman because, arachnid or arachno whatever. I always suck at saying that stupid Pokemon's name. His helmet very much looks like Black Manta from Aquaman. I didn't catch Weasel. I never ran into one. Flower Paradise, Flabebe named her Chris after Hurricane Chris, who of course penned the legendary A Bebe song.
Nice.
Cutiefly named Beck because that's my wife's name and she's cutie. Panpour named Funky after Funky Long, the surfer from Donkey Kong. Comfy named Petals. Oricorio Fire type named Zoro. Panseer named Diddy after Diddy Kong. Pansage named Lanky after Lanky Kong. No, that would have been Panpour. The electric Oricorio named Haley, Combi named Beyonce, and the psychic Oricorio named Moana. And none of those made the teams, but the two options that I will have for my team, if I so choose later, will be Crones the Shellos and Petals the Comfy.
Nice. Yeah, in the Flower Paradise, I caught a cutie fly that I named Leo, One Piece reference. For Bebe, I named Lily, another One Piece reference. Pansage, I named Bud for, of course, you guys know. I caught 3 Combies, Beeson, Beely, and Bichon. Panpour, I named Phil. Panseer, I named Scorch.
Nice. So that takes us
the Oricorios.
Unfortunate. That takes us to Dresco City Gym. My team heading into here was between 18 and 20. I didn't do any extra grinding. That was just from, catching Pokemon and battling the available trainers. I'm playing on like normal, so this was one attempt, had no issues. I had the safety goggles and Litleo on the team, so that obviously was a big advantage. Merskull is his name, aka the White Snoop Dogg, Leaf Badge owner, and I love it was just really funny. I was just cracking up the whole time.
Right. Because, all right, so you go in the gym and it's fall. And first and foremost, the name that gave it away, Merskull. Okay, I know what this is. This is not this is not regular fall. All the gym guys are coughing. The gym trainer, the person at the door, they having a hard time functioning.
Yeah.
And then when you meet Merskull, he's like, "Oh yeah, would you like to have some of this rose incense?" This is not rose incense. Definitely not rose incense.
Shame for children.
Right. Right. Think of the children, people. We had, what was his name? What was the dare dog name?
Oh man. I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, say no to drugs. Yes.
Actually, my psychic deck in TCG Pocket was named Dare because it was built just to fight the grass decks, the Celebi decks.
Nice.
Venom.
That's how you do it.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience.
I'd rather not.
Right. You know what? Let us go first and let him build up to it. He's having flashbacks, PTSD.
Right. We'll let him collect himself. Kumino, how was your time with Merskull here?
Okay, so he led with Gloom and Floette. I had Quackers and Leroy Jenkins up in the front. Floette get off a Fairy Wind. Yeah, goes for a Fairy Wind, and Leroy take him out. No, actually keep Leroy in and use Fire Fang. Gloom puts Quackers to sleep with sleep powder. Then I wake Quackers up and have it use default. But before that can happen, Leroy's turn to I use Leroy's turn to wake up Quackers. Floette hits her Fairy Wind, this time doing good damage. Gloom follow up with another sleep powder on Quackers. I have to bring in the Zubat, Austin Aries. And essentially that's when everything just became aerial ace, aerial ace, aerial ace, aerial ace, because they kept putting Quackers to sleep. Quackers didn't do nothing. All this was Zubat.
Nice.
But yeah, that's how the battle went. And then after the battle, got the Leaf badge, and some guys came in, and my man Merkel said, "Oh shit," and he had him and his gym trainers jump into the pond to hide out.
They just drown themselves.
They was looking to collect on some bad stuff that Merkel has sold them. And also Paul's evolved. This is where Paul's evolved into Lucario.
Oh, nice.
I made the switch of the Subel from Paul's over to Zubat because I knew that I wanted Crobat.
Nice. Venom, has enough time passed that you can?
So I do have a note on the end of it. I after all of my dealing with the gym, I have a note here about the goons coming in to talk to Merskle, and I have asterisk. Very, very annoyed trying to read the messed up accents, lost interest trying to understand the gym leader and the goons, so just skip the dialogue. Hope Kumino can recap. I was not having it anymore, and Merskle is very high and very hard to read, and the goons come in and have whatever their accent is as well, and I just don't like reading people writing accents. I just it is very difficult. It just destroys my ability to really get into it. So
nice.
I would prefer they just be like in parentheses at the front in a Texan accent or in a high guy accent, and then I could do it in my brain and actually understand what's going on. But,
right.
Yeah. So my first experience with I am really wondering if Kumino is doing this on the lower difficulty level, because this is ridiculous. But so make it through the first two trainers, no problem. The lower accuracy is annoying, but it helps because they have to deal with it as well. Does it actually say how much it lowers your accuracy by, the fog?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't see how much they said it lowered by, but I mean, with Quackers, I just kept using default. It's just that Quackers never had an opportunity to actually do a physical attack,
right?
Because it kept getting put to sleep.
Right. Yeah. So again, determined to not use Quackers. I forgot I had the safety glasses on my first run through. So I go in, Merskle has a level 19 Floette, which has a grass gem attached to it, a level 21 Gloom, a level 17 Weedle, and a level 18 Comfy. So I go in, my team is Sentinel at level 17, Blue at level 17, Envy at level 18, Dumbledore at level 17, Bags at 17, and Bridget at 17 on my first run. So I talked to Mike about this briefly before. I've been trying to not use the fandom page at all outside of looking up what spawns on each route. And then I was glancing to see just what level is the gym leader by nature. The fandom page is apparently wrong, and under levels. So
what they do is the game, it actually levels with you.
the game scales, but the
Yeah.
fandom page must be wrong on what the base levels are. Because the scaling is correct, but the base levels have been wrong for me. Because in the second gym, it shows that expert should be in the like level 21 to 23 range, and the base levels for him was level 26.
Yeah, what I saw was 26.
See, yeah. So I'm not sure. Let's see.
But when I faced the second gym, they was in the 30s for me.
Interesting.
Because I was around the 30s.
Yeah, because
Okay.
here in the second gym, I'm looking expert level should be level 22, level 23, level 23, level 22. And the base levels that are you looking on the fandom, or are you on a different, maybe you're on a different walkthrough?
No, I'm using the fandom when I looked at it. But
okay. Yeah, because the base levels that I encountered were 3 to 4 levels higher than anything I was seeing on the fandom, which was really frustrating.
That could be.
I ground because, of course, again, I'm trying to do EV training. So I did my training arc on Route 3, got everyone to level 17 because that's what I thought I was going to encounter. It ended up not being what I encountered. So that was, but either way, I tried my first run in the gym. I send out Bags and Bridget first versus the Floette and Gloom. Gloom immediately sets up grassy terrain, and Bags manages to land a fake out on the Floette. Floette uses Fairy Wind, which one-shots Bags. Gloom sleep powders Bridget. I bring Envy out. Envy misses his attack. Gloom uses Ingrain, and then sleep powders Envy. Both of the sleeps last the full 3 turns, which again is the RNG thing going on with them. So every time I've experienced sleep, I've been slept for 2 to 3 turns. Bridget woke up and immediately takes another sleep powder without even getting to move. Goes back to sleep. The enemy team is still at full health with the grassy terrain and Ingrain. Envy wakes up, takes another sleep powder without getting a move in. Bridget lands a rapid spin to get a speed boost, then eats a third sleep powder. Gloom has not missed any of their attacks yet. They've hit like 6 sleep powders in a row at this point, despite the fog. So then Gloom uses acid, which crits Envy and kills Envy. Sentinel comes out and takes a sleep powder before moving. Gloom has still not missed anything. Bridget wakes up, lands 2 Metal Claws, but doesn't get an attack buff. Then takes another sleep powder for another 3 turns. Sentinel, I am determined to make Gloom miss anything. So I start using Flash on Sentinel on the Gloom to try and get Gloom to stop putting all my Pokemon to sleep. I miss 2 Flash, then land 2 Flash. Gloom and uses a Mega Drain on Bridget to keep itself maxed up with the grassy terrain plus Ingrain plus Mega Drain. Let's see. Enemy team is still at 100% HP. Bridget lands 3 straight Metal Claws on Floette. And just before Floette dies, Murskell uses a Super Potion to top Floette back off. Sentinel lands a 3rd Flash on Gloom, but Gloom hits another Mega Drain. Both of my Mon are in yellow at this point, where they are still at 100%. Let's see here. 2 Metal Claw in a row from Bridget manages to kill Floette. I've now landed like 8 Metal Claws and not got an attack buff from them. Sentinel lands a 4th Flash on Gloom. The Weedle comes out. Bridget lands 2 Metal Claws on Weedle, which leaves it in the red, but Gloom hits a Mega Drain to knock out Bridget. Sentinel lands 2 Flash on Weedle, but misses the knockout. Let's see. Dumbledore comes out to replace my Bridget. Weedle lands Bug Bite on Dumbledore for half HP. Sentinel manages to knock out the Weedle. The Comfey comes out. Dumbledore misses both Mud Slaps on Comfey. And Gloom lands 2 Acid to knock out Dumbledore. Sentinel lands another couple Flash on Comfey. Blue comes out as the last hope. Comfey Magical Leaf ignores the flashes and the fog because it's got infinite accuracy, so it KOs Sentinel with a couple Magic Leafs, and then Gloom lands an Acid to knock out Blue. So that was my first experience with the gym. I managed to kill the Floette and the Weedle. The Gloom was still at 100% HP by the end of the battle.
Sheesh.
And the
like I said, PTSD.
Comfey has Magical Leaf to ignore the
default
accuracy. So I go, obviously need to train myself up a little bit more to get closer to the gym level, and need to trade some people out. So I go back and I look at my team, and I notice my Hoot Hoot has Keen Eye. So I go back, and my level 11 Hoot Hoot, I train it up to level 18 to get Air Slash on it.
Nice.
And this is the point where I have my little asterisk note, can't escape most annoying Pokemon feature ever added, as I'm trying to train this Hoot Hoot to go back to the gym. Let's see here. I was training on Route 3 for my Hoot Hoot, and I managed to run into a Surskit, which I caught and named Skittles.
Nice.
Let's see. And I've got another note here. I've got another note here that says Hoot Hoot is such a weak bum. Hoot Hoot is terrible.
Wow, I'm gonna need you to get off my owl, homie, though.
Hoot Hoot is terrible. It has no stats whatsoever until you evolve that thing into Noctowl.
You know what was really good?
He's adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable. I love Hoot Hoot. Back in the Pokemon Coliseum, Hoot Hoot or Noctowl in that game, I used Noctowl for everything with Hypnosis to be able to catch the shadow Pokemon and everything.
Nice.
So love Noctowl, but Hoot Hoot is horrible.
And Infinity added Grimfowl, which was really cool.
Yes, that one was totally fine, but no, regular Hoot Hoot is terrible. So then I go into the gym again. Run number 2. I have not leveled up any of my other Pokemon, and I took Blue out and put Tootsie in at level 18 with the safety goggles. I basically miss all of my attacks, and Tootsie, again, being a weak little bum, does no damage whatsoever, even with Air Slash. The safety goggles are just to keep it alive, keep it awake, because I didn't want it to get put asleep. I'm like, I'll give it it'll learn a flying move. It won't be able to go to sleep. It'll kill these stupid grass Pokemon. It does no damage whatsoever. So I end up, let's see, I lost like 2 Pokemon, gave up, and just ended that playthrough. So I go back in for a third time. I have not trained anymore or anything like that. I've not changed any of my Pokemon, but I go back in a third time and lead with Tootsie and Envy, because Tootsie, of course, has the Air Slash. Envy has Wing Attack and I think Swift at this point. I don't recall.
Envy is your Zubat, right?
Zubat, yep, my Zubat.
In theory, Zubat has no eyes, so it shouldn't be affected by this nonsensical fog.
You would think so. Yep. So
I don't have Aerial Ace yet. Aerial Ace, it never misses.
My Envy is only level 18. My Envy is only level 18. So I'm under leveled for the gym overall. What level does it learn Aerial Ace?
I cannot remember because
Yeah,
the
I
level
would say
up isn't the same as in other games. For this game.
Right. Yep. But either way, I end up clearing the gym the third time pretty easy. After having the 2 flying Pokemon out first, I managed to pressure down the Gloom right away, and then I'm able to get Sentinel in to take out the Fairy Pokemon.
Nice.
Yeah, so I made it through on the third one. I didn't even really keep track because it went so fast the third time. But
nice.
My first experience was really, really, really poor, and kind of set up the theme for my second gym battle, which will be, oh yeah,
nice. Well, after we beat Merxel, aren't we talking with one of Log's friends in town, right?
Yes. Once we leave out of the gym, a cutscene happens where his grandson takes off. I initially thought somebody had came and snatched. I was barely paying attention, so I was like, "Oh snap! Somebody came and snatched him up." But what it was, he was taking off.
Yeah.
But that was because of what he saw. He saw the Shadow, Team Shadow, like because I call him Team Shadow, heading towards Cinder Volcano.
Yep.
But yeah, we go into the friend's house. The friend's name is Arthur. We explain to him why we're here, and he says, "Oh, I'm able to shed some light on it." And he asks you if you know the region's lore. If you don't, if for some odd reason you just happen to be Jared and you just flash through that whole beginning sequence.
Oh no, yeah.
You can go over to his TV and it will play for you again, and you can get the whole history.
It's much like Venom's not being able to flee from battles. As soon as you click on that dang TV, you have to watch the whole thing again.
Right. But once you do that, he will explain that he believes that they are after the 3 legendary birds to unseal Hoopa's power, essentially. But he says the dark evil Pokemon power, and that he's going to send Jax to go cut them off. Well, he sends Jack to first go pick up Professor Log, and he explains to Professor Log what the situation is, and then he sends Jack. Professor Log tried to send us home, but Arthur says, "Wait, no, look at him. He has his gym badge. Let him go." And Professor Log like, "Okay, well, I'll tell you what, you'll go, and I'm gonna lie to your mom so she won't worry about you. I'm gonna just say you're doing the gym challenge, but you go ahead and you go after those bad guys and head to the volcano." And so essentially you take off and go to the volcano.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where I make a note, make a beeline to Cinder Volcano and went to Flower Paradise. So this is where I went to Flower Paradise and did the honey mission and everything. Because anytime I'm told to immediately go someplace, I just go some other place first.
Go the opposite.
Right, yeah.
Way. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're a natural born gamer. That's what we do.
Yes.
Right.
We automatically load in and turn around and walk the opposite way. Yeah, after this, we have to travel through the Grim Woods, which was blocked off prior to beating the gym here in Dresco.
Yeah, by those guys that came in there looking for Merkel.
Yep. In here, I caught Duskull named Dick Tracy. Because Dusk Noir detectives. And I was like really hoping that this would be my winner from Grim Woods, because I've never used this line and I really like the nickname. It was not. I caught a C-Dot named Locke, Ghastly named Fart, Pumpkaboo named Gorgeous, because he's a gourd. Shuppet named Casper, and a Phantom named Treebeard after the main Ent from Lord of the Rings. And even though I didn't get Duskull, Phantump ended up being the strongest Pokemon that I caught in Grim Woods. And I'm excited because this is another line that I've never used, but I've kind of wanted to use. Ghost Grass, kind of an interesting combination. So Treebeard, I ended up swapping him onto the team in place of Tex the Skorupi. So maybe Tex will make the team again later, but he's been replaced for Treebeard. I'm very excited to use Trevenant. Never used one, and they're really cool looking. You guys catch anything here in Grim Woods?
Well, because I kept running into Punkaboo, I only caught 4 Pokemon. In which it was Punkaboo that I named Pumpkin, Caterpie that I named Lisa, Ghastly that I named Hunter, and a Seedot that I named Adam. But mainly was the Punkaboo that I kept running into because I wanted to use Trevenant on my team, but I got tired and gave up. But I did pick up the TM 100 for Infestation.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's in here. Very nice. Little TM. Did you catch anything here, Venom?
So while I was up in Flower Paradise, I was working my way back down, and on Route 3, I see a sandcastle on the beach.
Yes.
Which was not there originally.
Yeah.
And so I go and click on it, and it turns out to be a Sandygast, which I've never used before. So at this point, I make a team change. I take Envy and Tootsie off the team, put Sandy, my Dupitor, and my Sandygast named Quixie, because I couldn't think of a better name for a quicksand. And so I add them to my team, and then I go do a training arc in Icicle Cave, trying to get Sandy and Quixie up to par. And then I head to Grimwoods. I battle the trainers in there, but I have used the only Pokemon in there I'm really interested in. I've used before, so I don't bother catching anything. But while I am in there, Sentinel evolves into Metang after the first trainer battle. And then, found the TM Infestation plus a Nest Ball and a Net Ball and a couple of other items. And I make a note in here that the second trainer I encounter has a level 19 Beedrill already. And then make it out to Route 4 I just basically run through the entire woods, battle everyone, pick up the items, and just get out.
Nice. What excuse me. What was the Pokemon you wanted to use
in
Grimwoods?
I mean, I've never actually used a Gengar before. So if I were to use one, I would pick up a Ghastly. But at this point, I had just added Sandygast to my team. Mm-hmm. So I stuck with the Sandygast and said, I'll try that instead of the Gengar. I have used Duskull and Shuppet, I believe, both in our previous playthroughs for PokéBoys.
Nice.
So I've used those lines before. So those are the only ones I'd really be interested in. I mean, Trevenant would be fine, but I wasn't really interested in trying to catch. I don't like the pre-evolutions or anything. And again, I just threw a ghost type on my team, right. So we'll ride it out with Sandygast until I decide if it needs to change out for some. If I don't like it, if it's not fitting the team, whatever, I'll trade it out later. So
right. I think I used that for Palossand in season 1, all the way back in season 1.
Gotcha.
Or maybe it was season 2. I don't know. I liked it a lot. It's a cool Pokemon. After Grimwoods, we hit Route 4 East before Cinder Volcano. Here, caught a Starly named Louisiana after the Louisiana dry rub, of course. Lillipup named Pepe after my neighbor's dog who looks exactly like a Lillipup. Routes named Galadriel. Lord of the Rings was just on my mind this playthrough. And Ekans named Sneck. Budu named Ivy after Poison Ivy, and a Mankey named Monk. Kumino, anything on Route 4 for you?
After the cutscene with Jax arriving at Cinder Volcano, I catch me a Badoo that I named Tulip. I catch 2 Ralts, a boy and a girl, named one Luke, one Fancy. A Numu that I named Eyelash, another One Piece reference. Ekans, I named Slips after the real life snake that I had. R.I.P. I catch a Lillipup that I named Jazz. No idea why I named it Jazz, just named it Jazz. But then I go back and I swap out Crag, the rock and roller that was on my team, for Lily, the Flabebe.
Nice. But yeah, like you said, Jax arrives at the volcano. We head in and we're chasing down Team Shadow. They've already caught Articuno, and we can only connect the dots here that they're going after the second of the legendary bird trio Moltres here at the volcano. So we're chasing them down, trying to get there first, prevent them from capturing another legendary bird. In here, my catches were Woobat named Miss Piggy, Magby named Pacific, shout out to season 6, Torkoal named Timmy, Slugma named Gary after SpongeBob, Salandit named Azalea after Iggy Azalea because it looks like fire iguana, Numel named Kanye Rupt, because we know what
Poor Numel. That's all I got to say.
Been erupting with lately a lot of craziness,
right?
And a Geodude named Lebowski, and Big Lebowski, the dude. Come on. Yeah. But while going through the volcano, E Honda evolved into Hariyama, which was pretty cool. My first evolution. Yeah. Venom catches in Cinder Volcano. Anything?
On Route 4, before making it there, I run into a male Ralts, which I name Saber, just in case later on I feel like switching out to a Gallade. I've used Gardevoir like 1,700 times because Gardevoir is awesome. Right. But I have not used, the only time I have ever used a Gallade is in Scarlet, when the Blueberry Academy section came out. I managed to find a shiny male Ralts.
Oh, nice.
And made a full, for the Blueberry Academy run, I made a full shiny team of shiny Pokemon I had found in the previous expansion or the base game. So I made a team, and that's the only time I've used Gallade. So I'd like to use one, but I was still running bags at this point, so I've got fighting covered. So at the moment, Ralts is hanging out in the box, and I am full into the, unless I really intend to use something, I'm not going to bother catching it. So that is the only catch I have for Route 4 or Cinder Volcano.
Okay. So what happens? Oh wait, no, Kumino, did I ask you what you caught in the volcano?
Yeah, you did, but for that very reason,
I'm losing my mind.
It's okay. It's late. For that very reason, that's actually why I put Lily on the team, because everything in me was like, put Ralts on the team, so I could have Gardevoir. But I was like, no, I want to try to use something that I haven't used. And despite the fact that I do like Generation 6, I've never used Flabebe line at all. So that's why I went ahead and put Lily on the team. But I did go back to the trainer house and did some leveling and grinding, and that's when Leroy evolved into Gabite and Austin Aries evolved into Golbat. And then on my way to the volcano, Lily evolved into Floette, and I guess my Golbat loved me because Austin Aries evolved into Crobat as well. So I was like, Oh,
So many evolutions.
right.
That's awesome.
This may be a problem I'm running into as well. Is Kumino has like second and third evolutions on all his stuff, and the team I'm choosing is all like, we don't evolve until we're 40. So it's like, yeah. So I am trying to deal with the entire game with base evolutions, and it's So I should
my team is getting stronger.
Yeah. I should scale fairly well once I start to evolve, but getting to that point is being difficult. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens when we get to the top of the volcano here, Kumino?
All right. So at the top of the volcano, a cutscene happens where we see the Shadow Warriors and a unnamed person with a mask. They are summoning Moltres, in which I gotta say, nice job on them. They used the Master Ball and locked everything up real quick, and they started to head out, but Jax came and cut them off. In his attempt to stop them, Marlon from before comes in and holds off. Like, he literally holds Jack. Y'all go. I go. Wondering why his Star Rapier did not just, knock Marlon into the volcano or something. I don't know. But, so
it doesn't have the same relationship as you and your Golbat or Crobat, you and Ares.
Yeah. But so we come up, we let Jax know that we here. We team up for a bit, make our way through the other side of I guess you would say the west side of the volcano, until we meet up with Team Shadow down on the bottom floor. Some kind of way, like, he jumped down the ladder and instantly was in a battle. I don't know how Jax did it, because like I went down right after him. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, him and Marlon was having a battle. Marlon spanked his cheeks, and then me and Jax teamed up to take on Marlon and one of the grunts, while we learned the name of that other masked person, which was named where is it? Dang, I guess I didn't write her name down, but it was definitely a female. And Marlon told her to go ahead and Ivory, there it is. Ivory is her name. He told her to go ahead and head off. So in that double battle, didn't really have any issues. It was just kind of slow, because for some odd reason, like, most of his team had fake out. And so, like, every time they swapped in, they would fake out. So it'd take like an extra turn to do something. But yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, the Swoobat did give me some trouble though. It was trying its best to take out Leroy Jenkins. But that rough skin did him in.
Yeah.
That he hit Leroy too many times.
That's a great ability. I love that ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we make it through. We don't get there in time. They get the Moltres. We're not doing a good job being heroes so far.
No, not at all.
Always 5 minutes late, But yeah, after we leave the volcano, we're heading over to Crater Town. And the other side of the volcano is Route 4 West. We have the exact same spawn table as Route 4 East. So did you guys catch anything here?
No, with no need to.
Yeah. I actually caught a shiny, guys. This is the first time in the history of PokéBoys that I caught a shiny during one of our playthroughs.
Dad, make sure you add the applause.
Yes, please. Thank you. But it was an Ekans, so it wasn't anything cool.
Hey, a shiny is a shiny.
That's
and
true.
Just because of the shiny, it should get on the team, even though I took Sam off the team.
Yeah, so this Ekans was then named Sneck and replaced the former Sneck. But the Sneck did not make the team. Maybe it will at some point, but I'm no Venom, okay? He put that Zubat, right, on your team in Infinity.
Zubat and Donphan. Yes.
Yeah, Donphan was cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my catch for Route 4, obviously. Route 5, though.
In which we have to talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
I love how they actually did it. So the continuation of Route 4 into Route 5 is actually a waterfall. And being that you don't have the ability to surf or the waterfall HM, they set up a Lapras ride.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I loved it. I actually went back and forth on the Lapras a few times, just having fun.
I did too, but it was not for fun. it was many times back and forth later on, but we'll get to that as well. I did actually lose the first battle with Marlin and the Grunt because again I was severely underleveled for what they were doing, and Jax is basically useless in this entire battle. So and of course, because Jax is on your team, he takes up 3 of the Pokemon spots, does nothing to help you. And I was the Swoobat was level 23 and my entire team was level 20. But I do, so the first time I went in with Sentinel, Bags, and Bridget at level 20, but I was able to switch out to Quixie, Bags, and Bridget the second time without doing any training or anything, and was able to beat it the second time through. So
nice. Now we got to choose what 3 Pokemon we brought in, right?
Yes,
which was pretty cool. I like that.
Well, yeah, essentially because it lets you know. It don't take you into your inventory to do it, but you just go ahead and you make the adjustment. So
which is nice that they give you the heads up. But yeah, I just envision like Kumino letting all of his Pokemon out and just riding the Lapras and passing Venom, who's just like hates life. Like just no Pokemon out, like sour face, like and Kumino just like having a blast. Just
we partied on the back of Lapras.
Oh man,
I cannot wait until I get Fly. Oh my god, the number of times I have made it back to the stupid freaking Icicle Cave to train defense or one of the other to train special attack on beating up a whole bunch of Vanillites and stuff like that. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, because actually, I actually did go back at this point because I was like, oh, I found another Zygarde cell, which put me up at 11% and reminded me that I needed to go do that because it was like, hey, once you get 10%, come back and talk to his wife. So I did that. I picked up the Zygarde 10%, the good boy doggo. I named him Zaza, but he chills in the box because I got Leroy Jenkins, so I don't need 2 Dragon Grounds on my team. But I went back to Icicle Cave because I had to go through there to get to the Frozen Heights because I had enough Pokemon to now get the stat scanner.
Nice.
So yeah, that was awesome. I was happy. This little portion, I was very happy.
How does it work?
So essentially in your menu, you just go in there and hit, I believe it's the R button because I'm using the controller as well. Use the R button and it brings up the stat scanner of your team. So you can see what their stats is, what their potential is going to be. You'll see what they level up moves they will get. And you can rename them. I think you can even edit some of the stats as well. Like you could add IVs and stuff.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Gonna have to go get that. Nice. So we get down to Route 5 and there are some trainer battles. The daycare is here. If you go in the northwest corner of the route, there's a house and the person will give you the Hoenn starters, right?
No, it's a Unova starter.
Unova, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I didn't write down which one I picked. Let me see if I can find it. Do you guys remember which one you picked?
Yeah, I got it all right here. So actually on Route 5, when you get to that little portion, there's actually 2 ways you can go. To the north is a daycare. That is another quest there to, what is that quest? I can't remember what that quest is.
Something about incense or something, right?
Yeah.
Or no,
no. You got to bring a Badoo.
Pokemon. right?
Yeah, you got to bring the Badoo
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And also is here where you find the mission for the 150
walking
steps. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a sign to let you know that there's a hidden grotto in the area, but you won't be able to access it until you get the cut move, and that's after the badge that we're finna go get in Crater Town.
Yeah.
So my Hoenn starter, I chose Tip Pig because I did not have a fire type on my team. I wanted a fire type. I wasn't liking Hounder and Houndoom. Of course, I just got done using a Magmar and Magnezone. And so I was like, I don't want to use Growlithe because I just got done using the Growlithe as well in another game that's outside of the PokéBoys. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use Tempig because I don't like the the Universe starters, and I always normally go with Oshawott. So it'd be nice to go with a Tempig this time.
Do you remember who you picked, Venom?
I went with the Snivy because I also do not really care. I love Superior. I do not like the other two starters really. Samurott is cool, but I don't like Oshawott or the middle evolution Duat at all. So I don't want to deal with them until they get to that point. So I went with the one that I actually like the line of, and I don't have. I have water on my team with Jupiter, but I don't have fire or grass yet. So Snivy was fine to add.
That's hilarious because I picked Oshawott. So we all picked.
So we got all.
That's great. I don't remember what I named mine though. I didn't write it down. And Expedition 33 is running on the Steam Deck, so I can't like easily figure it out right now.
I got a male, so I named it Ivan, but I named it Ivan IVYN. So
nice, good. Mine's is named Tamed after the fighting Buddhist monk that traveled with Wukong in the Journey to the West.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Here on Route 5, I caught the following Pokemon: Nidoran female named Queen, Purloin named Gabby after Gabby's dollhouse. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Nidoran male named King, Lickitung named Gene Simmons, Ditto named Blob, Talo named Mild. Talo is just like so uninspiring, like mild sauce. Growlithe named Bork, Yanma named Orinth after the Orinth copters from Dune. You know, if you know, you know. Did you guys catch anything? Oh, Nidoran female was the strongest, so Queen will be a team option if I so choose. But what did you guys catch here? Anything?
Yeah, I got a Purloin. I named it Socks because you know it's a good cat name. Nidoran male, I named it Jack because I was trying to find a Nidoran female, and I was gonna name it Jill as well. So whenever I find one of those, I'll name it Jill. Talo, I did not give a name because, like you said, Talo is just so uninspiring. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And Growlithe, I named Blaze because he's a good boy, and Blaze is a good name for a fast doggo.
Dude, can you give a Pokemon a blank name?
A blank name where they have nothing?
Where you just don't add letters?
Yeah.
No.
Because that would be perfect for Talo.
Yeah, it's a default to what they name it.
Yeah, but I think if you don't
you put ...
Right. Right. Yeah, if you leave it blank, it just defaults to its actual name.
The disrespect, just giving them.
Sorry, Talo. I mean, like Talo, you are a beautiful bird. You just so uninspiring. Even Swellow, like Swellow, I know it's good, but it's just so uninspiring. Like there's nothing really special about it. It's the same way I feel about Unpheasant and stuff.
Yeah. Catch anything, Venom?
The only thing I wanted from this route is I have never run either of the Nidos, so I got a Nidoran male and named it Spike, so I can have a Nidoking.
Nice. I love Nidoking and Queen. They just don't learn any moves on level up.
And then I did a little bit of training here, and in the same wild Pokemon battle, Nidoran, my Spike, and Sandy both evolved in the same wild Pokemon battle, which was kind of interesting.
Wow.
So I now have Araquanid and Nidorino.
Nice.
Right. So now he going.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit better here. So
the ride back on the Lapras was much better.
I did make a note to though. Something made me smirk a little bit and think of Mike. Did you guys do the double battle with the girl and the creepy bug catcher?
Yes, but why did this make you think of me?
I'm just sitting because if you talk to the girl, she's like, that guy over there keeps staring at me. I don't understand why he's staring at me. And then you talk to the guy, and the guy's like, is there a bug in that girl's hair? So it just made me think of Mike just sitting there with his obsession with bug Pokemon, being like, there's this beautiful girl in front of him, and Mike's like, is that a bug Pokemon?
Yeah, is that a Heracross?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's great. So after Route 5, we make it to Crater Town, and before you go to the gym, you can go into the KBT Expressway. So let's talk about that before we talk about the gym. I actually did this before the gym, unlike Dresco Town, where I didn't do Route 3 and Flower Paradise before the gym. Venom, I know that you did this after the gym, because you told me. But Kumino, did you do this before or after the gym, or at all?
Before the gym.
Okay. The reason I went in here is because exploring Crater Town, we get a side mission for one of the residents wants us to go look for his brother in the expressway, which is kind of like the stomping grounds of the local biker gang. And he's afraid his brother, is kind of getting caught up in the wrong crowd, and he wants us to go check on him. So we go in there, and there are a few Pokemon you can catch here. I caught an Aron named Aaron, Noibat named Barbara after Barbara Gordon, who is Batgirl, and Nosepass named Rhino after rhinoplasty, the nose surgery.
Wait, you could catch Pokemon in there?
Yeah, you can't. Don't walk on the path. If you walk out on the sides of the path, you can run into Pokemon.
Okay. Because I'm like, I encountered nothing.
Yeah, I have been looking at the spawn tables just so I know what I gotta catch. And for a while I was like, well, I'm not running into anything. What the heck? And then I stepped off the path and then started running into stuff, and I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Kind of. But yeah, so we battle the biker gang. Do you remember what the gang is called?
Black.
It's called the Black Embor.
Yeah. Black Embor, that's right. So we fight some of their henchmen, make it to the boss, who is James, right?
Yes. Yep.
We beat James, and he's so impressed by our battling that he in honor of us, wants to rename his gang after us, which is very awkward for me because
me too.
He renamed his biker gang. They're no longer referred to as the Black Embor. They're now referred to as the Black Mike.
And the Black Kumino, in which I added parentheses, 2 on the nose, my man. 2 on the nose.
Yeah. Oh man. So what did you name yourself, Venom? How racist is your gang name?
I am named Venom, which I have done the KBT Expressway
okay
now. So knowing the battle that you get with James and the Pokemon and everything they have, I think my name is the most appropriate for the group.
Oh yeah, no, your name rules. Black Venom. That sounds rad. Black Mike sounds very racist.
Very, very, very heavy on the poison and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But
yeah, so Venom got the best outcome, and then meanwhile, me and Mike over here like, really, my guy?
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on, man. Know your audience. But yeah, so I got a really good laugh out of that, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you catch any Pokemon in here, Venom?
I have not. I did not realize you could catch Pokemon in there until after I battled James, and that was like 30 seconds before we started recording. So, nice. I was wandering around and walked off the path on my way to go back out to heal because my James battle, we can do it next week if we want to, because it's after the gym for me. But I make it out of the James battle with 16 HP total.
Oh dang! It's a rough one.
Yeah.
Nosepass ended up being the strongest Pokemon that I caught for future team use. But what were you gonna say,
Big nose on the team. I ended up going to the dude that lets you mine.
Oh yes.
And
$1,000.
Right. It's $1,000, but it was worth it for me.
Okay.
Because after 3 times, I got a shiny stone.
Oh, nice.
And I was able to use that shiny stone and evolve my my Floette. Is it Floette or Floette? It's Floette. Floette into Florges. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. So you're definitely kicking my butt on the early team evolutions and everything.
Nice.
Hey, I'm getting lucky.
Yeah.
So that lead. Oh, also in here there are like family members that you can trade the elemental gems, like the grass gem, for example. You can trade a certain number of them for, I think, a TM. I think. I don't remember exactly what it is you can trade them for, but there's 3 or 4. They might be siblings. That I'm doing a really bad job of recapping this. But they each take a different type of stone and a different number, or not stone, a different type of gem and a different number of gem, and they give you rewards for them. So
I encountered one of them, but I didn't have any of the stones to be able to trade.
Yeah, there's one like right on the way to James, but then if you keep like traveling deeper in, you'll run into the other ones.
Did you guys?
You would think they would want the shards that you can mine up instead.
Right, but no, it's the like grass gem, because the first one I think wants grass gems.
Yeah.
But it's in Crater Town. Is that Crater Town, Crater City, whatever it is?
Crater Town.
Crater Town. There's someone there that wants to trade. Isn't it like either hard stones or everstones or something like that? I don't recall what they give you. I haven't done any of the mining yet. But if I do some mining, I want to get some more everstones because I want to trade you.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the guy that the move relearner.
Oh, that's yes.
Mining gets you heart stones as heart scales as well.
Yep. So it gets you things for mining to go and talk to that guy, so I can start training a little bit better moves to my Pokemon. That's what it was.
Nice.
Well, it's really just the moves that you've already learned that you might have passed up. But in like the case of Florges, being that it's a move that could have learned at an earlier level, I was able to get Dazzling Gleam for her that way.
Right. That's when you evolve, there's a lot of Pokemon that have moves that they could have learned at level 1 or whatever when you get to the higher evolution. So I want to be able to do that to get the better moves that you can't learn otherwise normally. So
right.
Did you guys do the Pokeball guy in the Pokemart?
Like once every so often, there's a time limit. You can trade 1 Pokeball for 1 Great Ball, which is kind of nice because whenever you upgrade your Pokeshop to the next ball type, then you always get like you have like 7 Pokeballs left that you're never going to use. So that's kind of cool that you can trade them in like that.
Yeah.
Anything else of note before we head into the gym here? Take on Vega.
Outside of the family that let you know about the swarms, and you check the TV, you'll see what swarm is being active right then and there. Nothing else really.
The story about Eros.
Oh yeah. I don't even know who Eros is. But yeah, old man tells you about it.
Yeah, it's the second time we've heard the name because I had something above where it's like who is Eros or something like that. But we find out that Eros, apparently there was a meteorite coming to smash into what was originally named Valley City. And Eros comes in with Rayquaza and Mr. Rayquaza.
Ray.
Yeah. Teleports all the inhabitants of Valley City to East Borrius, and then goes back and flies Rayquaza into the meteorite, blowing up the meteorite. And the smaller pieces of the meteorite still destroy Valley City, and that's where we get Crater Town, but ultimately saves the rest of the region from taking any damage.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Pretty cool.
And also we learned that the meteorites that are around town, they will have a effect on Deoxys, I'm assuming. They don't straight up say Deoxys, but that's the only one I ever known that interacting with meteorites alters its forms. So assuming if you have a Deoxys for some odd reason in this game, this is where you need to come to.
Right. So that leads us to Crater Town Gym, where we will end episode 1 here. We're going to take on Vega. This has a very similar mechanic to what's his name?
Merkle
from Emerald.
I
think where the gym is dark, and as you progress through, and this one, as you beat trainers, the light
Broly.
Yeah, that's it. My team heading into the gym, we had Treebeard, my Phantump, Simba the Litleo, Stella the Alolan Sandshrew, E Honda, my now Hariyama, Squidward the Inkay, and Kai James, my Larvitar. My team's like 26 to 28. And I'm not like doing any grinding. I'm just battling all the available trainers and catching Pokemon. But I do have experience share on, so that helps. Vega has level 22 Liepard, an Absol, and a Sneasel. The Liepard.
That's what he had for you.
Yeah, for me. This normie playthrough I'm going on. Liepard actually beat my Treebeard because he's like on the lower end of my team because he's a new addition. I tried to swap him out, but he hit me with a pursuit before I could retreat to safety. Stella came in, wrapped it up. Absol was OHKO'd by E Honda, and Sneasel then was also OHKO'd by E Honda. I know your guys' experience was probably a little tougher than that.
Yeah, this battle was actually a little bit tougher for me because in this one, the night or the darkness actually damages your Pokemon.
Yeah, I liked that. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
They called it something. Just a minute.
It's like negative emotions.
Negative emotions. Yeah, it's like a poison tick. But if you have, what is it? Dark, and 2 other types. I don't remember what they are. Don't take any damage.
What was it? I can't
definitely
remember.
Was dark.
Yeah, it was definitely dark.
Maybe Ghost.
That's the only one I have on my team is dark that wasn't taking any damage. But yeah, it's like an additional poison tick every single turn that your Pokemon take.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
really cool mechanic. I liked it.
Yeah, but for me, let's see. I started out the battle with Tang, the Pignite, but Liepard being faster was messing up my flame charge strategy that I wanted to use. I wanted to flame charge and build up my speed because all of his Pokemon are fast. Well, I mean, Hunchcrow ain't really all that fast, but still. But yeah, he used Fake Out with the Liepard. And then, oh my God, those Fury swipes hitting 4 to 5 times. I was in a loop of where I was trying to heal because I didn't want Pig Knight to go down. But eventually I got lucky enough to where he missed a Fury swipe. And that's when Tang was able to start going in with the flame charge and the arm thrust tactic. Finally brought the Liepard down. I want to say because the segment about that big that I wrote is about 10 to 12 lines. That's how long just that was. But yeah, he finally takes down the Liepard. Then the Absol come in, but Absol being pretty weak, and then I got a boost from the flame charge. One set of arm thrusts because was actually for the first time ever able to get 5 arm thrusts off.
Nice.
So instantly took out that. But Weavile came in and said, and got me with Ice Shard, and Pig Knight went down. So I brought in Florges, and Florges was able to take it down after about 3-4 turns with Dazzling Gleam. I'm not sure why Weavile was so tanky. But Murkrow came in, Lily, and then so I brought in Pause, and Pause was able to Aura Spirit, and finally not Aura Spirit, Lord Jesus, Power Up Hit is what it's called. Power Up Hit, and finally end the battle. So yeah,
nice. Venom. This one took you a while.
Yes. So I thought we were recording yesterday. Spoiler, we are not recording on the normal night for this.
We are in fact not recording on yesterday.
So I got up yesterday at 11 because I work Friday and Saturday nights super late. So I got up yesterday, started playing at 11. The only thing I needed to do yet was beat the gym. So I go into the gym. My team is, and again, that site you linked me, Kumino, I'm not sure what site that is, but please send me the site link.
Because I noticed that it wasn't the fandom page.
Yep. The one I am on is very wrong on what level everything is supposed to be. So I go in expecting the gym leader to be around level 21 to 23. So I come in, my team is Sandy, level 23, Quixie, level 21, Spike, 22, Sentinel, 23, Bags, 23, Ivan, 23. Make it through the 4 trainers, super easy. Get to the most annoying freaking gym. It's not really a challenge, but I cannot play it with I cannot play it on speed up. So I had to turn the game down to normal speed. And I don't know if it's just the controller or if they did this to make it difficult, but were you experiencing any kind of like input lag? And where you would, oh my God.
So
frustrating.
Like they kept catching me and I was like, I know I'm not messing up this bad.
Yep. So trying to make it through this dark hallway where if you have to run and then hide in corners before the people turn around and see you, because if they turn around and see you, they send you back to the beginning of that section. And there's 3 different sections like that. And because of the darkness, you can't see the next person.
Yeah.
So you have to go through multiple steps to learn where does the next person turn around, how far can I make it before I step into the cracks. And if they get within like 2 squares of you, they basically lock you, but you can't run right. You run faster than they walk, But if you get too close to them, your character stops on its own, and then there's like an input lag when you want to start again.
Yeah.
So trying to make it into those single little crevice corners was just absolutely impossible. Oh my God, I was ready to, and of course, not being able to beat the gym right away means that I need to go out and train multiple times and then make it back through that stupid freaking mission again and again and again. So I started at 11 a.m. yesterday. We were supposed to be recorded. I thought we were recording at 8 p.m. I did not finish the gym until 8:36 last night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So because I went in I made it through the first the first 4 trainers, not a problem whatsoever, even with my team being lower level. So I make it to Vega, who has Leopard level 25, Weavile 26, Absol 26, and Honchkrow 25. His entire team is faster than my entire team. The first battle, the first attempt I go in, it's really fast. I send out bags first. Leopard hits bags with a fake out, and then somehow knows play rough already to knock out bags. So I bring Sentinel in, but this is where I learn that the NPCs can swap the what players can normally swap when the enemy faints. This is where I learned that the NPCs can do that. So Sentinel comes in, but Vega immediately switches to Weavile with the free swap. Weavile uses punishment with a dark gem to Oko my Metang. So then I bring Spike in, and Vega swaps to Absol. Absol uses Psycho Cut to Oko Spike. Ivan comes in, which brings the Honchkrow out. Air Cutter Oko's Ivan. Then Punishment Oko's Quixie, and then Air Cutter Crit Oko's Sandy. So I never even got a single attack the first attempt on the gym.
That's crazy that he did you like that.
Yeah. So I make a note here. It's like, I'm not sure what to do. I need to get this done before a recording happens. So I go and do a whole bunch of training. This is where the Lapras rides start coming in back and forth. Basically start grabbing Pokemon out of my Porygon, running around, and I turn experience share on, start running around and doing a ton of EV training back and forth. My Dumbledore evolves to Boldore. While I'm running around, I actually found an Algium swarm on Route 5. So I managed to catch one of those just to have it. Go back to Vega. My entire team is at level 25. The second time I took Quixie out, put Dumbledore in. Now that it's a Boldore. Entire team is level 25. I try it twice, fail miserably both times. So my next note is more training and dying inside. So I'm running back and forth again, trying to figure out what do I have for a team that's going to be able to beat these things. Because the biggest problem is right now my entire team is one like base Pokemon or middle evolutions that I have no powerful moves whatsoever, and none of my Pokemon are speed Pokemon. So I'm getting outsped by everyone. So I'm trying to basically go through and get defense EVs on everybody and level people up. While running back and forth doing this, I do get a little bit of encouragement. I find my first shiny of the run.
Hey,
Pumpkaboo in Grim Woods, who does not get to make it to the team for this section because that would be really bad to take into this gym.
Yes, it would.
I will have to consider it for later.
Oh, that's a cool shiny.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is. So I end up, let's see. So for attempt number 4, I am 6 hours into EV training and team running and stuff like this at this point. I take Ivan, my Snivy, or I guess at this point it's a Servine, out of the team, and I bring Blue back in. And I take Blue and evolve it to a Manectric, because the thing I'm having the hardest time with is this Honchkrow, which for not being fast is oddly really fast for Vega. So I take Manectric, I take Electrike, get it up to level 26, which is going to scale the gym leader up another level. So Vega ends up being Leopard level 26, Absol 27, Honchkrow 26, and Weavile 27, because it scales with your levels as you level up past his level. But in order to get Manectric, I need to get to level 26 with Electrike. So I go back in. My entire team is level 26 at this point. So this is attempt number 4, I believe.
Nope.
So I bring out Spike first versus Leopard, get hit with the Fake Out immediately, and then it swaps to Honchkrow. Spike drops a Toxic Spikes while he's switching to Honchkrow, and then I bring Blue in to face the Honchkrow. I hit Honchkrow with Shockwave, which, let's see here, drops the Honchkrow to 15%, but Honchkrow lands Swagger, which confuses Blue and raises his attack, which doesn't help because he's a special attacker. And then I try and go for a quick attack regardless. Since my attack is now boosted, I try and go for a quick attack, but Vega uses a Moo Moo Milk, which maxes out Honchkrow all the way back up to full health.
Oh, no.
The quick attack does hit, but only does like 10% of his damage. I do actually manage to snap out a Confusion on the next turn. Let's see here. But Vega swaps to the Weavile, so Honchkrow does not go down. Weavile eats the Shockwave. Weavile is also poisoned by my 1 layer of spikes. I swap Dumbledore in to tank the Dark Gem punishment. The second punishment kills Dumbledore. Takes him down low enough that the passive damage from the negative emotion actually kills Dumbledore, takes him out. But I just needed to get through that without Blue taking any damage. So I send Blue back out, hit Weavile with another Shockwave. Weavile survives with 2% HP, but instead of trying to attack, uses another Swagger and dies to the Poison Tick. The Leopard comes back in, so I swap back to my Sandy, which is my Nidorino. The Leopard cleanses poison with a held Lumberry, so Leopard is not poisoned. He swaps back out to Honchkrow. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, so when Leopard comes in, I swap to Sandy, and that's when Leopard cleanses the poison. The Leopard swaps out, and Honchkrow comes back in and eats a crit Bubble Beam from Sandy, but does not kill the Honchkrow because, of course, Honchkrow got the Moo Moo Milk. I switch out Sandy for Blue. Blue eats Air Cutter and drops to 25% HP. The Honchkrow swaps to Absol, who gets poisoned and eats a Shockwave, which takes it down to about 50%. I switch back to Sandy, who takes a Faint, and then a Knockoff, which takes Sandy down to 10%. Bubble Beam drops Absol low enough that the poison kills it. The Leopard comes back in, and I go back to Spike again. Poison actually stays on Leopard this time because it doesn't have the Lumberry anymore. I get Fake Out hit again, which takes Spike below half HP. Spike hits Double Kick finally on the Leopard. Leopard survives with 10% HP. And then Spike dies to a Thief, and the negative damage tick, the negative emotion tick again, brings Sentinel out. I try a Pursuit, hoping that it's going to switch the Leopard. Instead, Vega uses another Moo Moo Milk to max out the Leopard. Thief takes Sentinel down to 40%, while Metal Claw takes Leopard down to 40%. Sentinel dies to another Thief, but I bring Bags out. Bags hits Leopard with Fake Out on the back, and the Poison Tick manages to kill Leopard. Honchkrow comes back out with 30%. I bring Blue back in, and Blue is able to take the battle with another Shockwave on the Honchkrow. So this is like professional battling with the swaps back and forth, and yeah, it is kind of crazy.
But hey, you did it.
Yep.
We made it, folks. Leg 1 in the books. 2 badges in our hands. The Leaf Badge, the Vision Badge, and unfortunately, 2 legendary Pokemon in the hands of Team Shadow here. We are told after we beat the gym leader here, right, that the Team Shadow is on the move again. I forget where we're told that they're going.
Oh no. So once you leave the gym, what happens is you get a scene with the grunts, and the grunts say that they have been informed that the target has changed positions, is in position, and so they head into Crater Town. So I'm not sure if they are after us, because I feel like Vega is a part of Team Shadow.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because he turns around and does whispering, and he's got the little headset in or whatever, and he does some whispering or whatever when you first enter the gym. So he's kind of, well, and he makes a comment after you beat him that you would make a fine agent. So
yeah, but he also says avoid the shadows and stay in the light.
Right. Yep. So a little bit of interesting what's going on with him, and I like that we beat the gym, and they're like, you can now use cut out of battle, and it's like, great, do we get cut? And he's like, no.
Here goes
no, why would I give you cut? It's like, well, we need to be able to use cut. So I don't know.
I think all the HMs are just usable.
Are they?
I think. I didn't test it out because
I tried to go, because there's the tree down in the base of the crater to let you go through the routes. But the guy that tells you about the tree being down in the crater is now standing in front of the tree, not letting you get to that tree.
Yeah, I'll probably have to talk to him, and he'll show us what's up.
I talked to him, and he just kind of says, if you follow this path, it'll take you to Route 8 or whatever. And he just stands in front of the tree, and it's like,
all right, dummy, get out of the way.
I want to go to Route 8.
Right, but you get cut in the tunnel.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So because I did the gym before doing the tunnel. So.
Yeah, you get it in the tunnel. I'm not sure if it's the northern or the southern one, but you get it there.
Okay.
Because it just says the KBT Expressway.
Okay, cool. It's good to know. Well, guys, let's wrap it up with a team recap, and then we'll jump out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you subscribe, and of course, go follow Kumino on Twitch. Join the Discord. Come hang out with us. Links in the episode description. But my team, after leg 1, we have Treebeard, the Phantump at level 27. Its ability is Natural Cure, which it heals on switching out. I'm assuming that's it heals status, or does it regain health? Like, I've never had this ability.
Heal status.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Simba, the Litleo at 29. He has Rivalry. Stella the Alolan Sandshrew at 28 knows Snow Cloak. E Honda the Hariyama at 28 knows Thick Fat. Squidward the Inkay at 28 has Suction Cups, which I'm assuming prevents you from being blown out of battle.
I believe so, yes.
Because it says its description is firmly anchors the body.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it prevents, like, what is it, whirlwind,
like being switched out or whatever.
Whirlwind or roar and stuff like that from, I think, Dragon Tail, that kind of stuff, which would switch you out.
Good to know. And then, of course, Kai James, my starter, Larvitar, level 28. It's got Guts. Venom, your team?
Let's see. I have Spike, level 26, my Nidorino with Rivalry.
Nice.
Dumbledore, my Boldor with Weak Armor at level 26, which is really, really not nice to have on a Pokemon that you want to stack defense on. But I keep trying to remove him from the team, and he keeps end up making it back on the team to make it through the gym battles and stuff like that. I've got
it's going to become an MVP.
Right, exactly. Blue, my Manectric at level 27. Where is he at? With Static, which has not really come into play in the gym battles yet, but in trainer battles has helped a lot. Sentinel, my Matang, level 26, with Clear Body again. Bags, my Scraggy at level 26 with Moxie. And Sandy, my Jupiter, at level 26 with Water Bubble, which I don't remember. Is Water Bubble the one that heals you when you're... I don't remember what Water Bubble does.
Me either.
I can look it up quick.
Yeah. Team's sounding solid, though.
Yeah. Water Bubble reduces damage taken from fire moves by 50% and doubles the power of water moves used by your ability bearer, which is why which is why I wanted to use the Araquanid in the first place, is because I can stack defenses on it, and with the Water Bubble can still do decent damage with Bubble Beam and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's actually a pretty sick ability.
Yep.
Good to know.
All right. My end of leg team is Tang the Pig Knight, level 27, Adamant Nature, Thick Fat Ability, has 3 S stats: attack, special defense, and speed. Leroy Jenkins, the Bite, level 31, got a Jolly Nature, Rough Skin Ability, 5 S rank stats: HP, attack, defense, special defense, and speed. Lily DeFlorges, level 27, Modest Nature, Flower Availability, has 3 S stats with HP, special attack, and special defense. Austin Aries the Crobat, level 28, Jolly Nature, Inner Focus Ability, 2 S rank stats in attack and speed. Paul Lucario at level 30, a Hardy Nature, Inner Focus Ability, 1 S rank, and that's special attack. Boot the Spill at level 29. When the hell does Spill evolve?
Isn't that like a 42 or something like that?
I
It's a
hope
pretty
not.
late one.
Oh my God. Boot might be going. But he has a relaxed nature, ice body ability, and no S rank stats.
32 to Celio, 44 to Walrein.
Okay, so not too far, but Jesus Christ.
Bad. Yeah.
It hasn't evolved and it has no S ranks. It's I'd say
Right.
first on the chopping block, probably.
And its base stats are a wonderful 290.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, like, it barely makes it in battle. It only comes in for like its
Whalerin's pretty sweet though.
Yes, yeah. And again, that's where I'm just waiting on evolutions at this point to actually have a workable team. So hopefully leg 2 goes a little bit better once everyone starts to evolve.
Oh, I have faith. But yes, thank you, listeners, for hanging around. Make sure you comment. Let us know your teams after the end of leg 1, what you're thinking about the game so far. Join the Discord. Go watch Kumino when he streams. And we'll see you here for the next one. Yeah. Have a good one.
Peace.
Yeah.